circles that I'm not in. That's a white person. So you're telling me you never bumped into a guy who's like anti-black, have some negative viewpoints upon black people? Jeremy, answer the question.
No, to be honest with you, I bump into more white. I ain't bumping into more black people who hate more white people than I do.
But Nathan is going.
I'll be honest with you.
Hey, Nathan, I hear what you're saying, and I don't think there's a black person that won't agree with you that black people have gone through a big struggle, still go through struggle, a bunch of racism, shit still exists.
100.
But here's the thing though. You know, what we gonna do about it though? Rather just yip yapping about it, like just get out there and grind harder. You know, if it's that bad, just fucking grind. If you have no choice, just fucking grind.
I'm gonna jump in here.
This ain't about helping Nathan.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying. About nothing to do with Nathan.
So I'm gonna mention something right quick here. So for those of you who aren't scholars, and most of you aren't, there are these things called inherited advantages, right? An inherited advantage would be something like money. It would be contacts. It would be the grooming in the sense that in the context of your parent went to medical school, you know the ropes, so it was actually a lot easier for you to not only get in, but to succeed. So the people that don't benefit from these inherited advantages are undermined heavily. Now, Anthony, I respect more than I respect myself. He's a standout success. There's no color barrier in Anthony's way, but he's also, I think, an exception to the rule. So I think that we need to honor the experience, the lived experience.
Wait, Jordan, let me cut you off for a second. Did somebody move Jeremy? Did somebody move Jeremy down?
Yeah, I did.
Please don't do that. He's modded.
You should move the dude who moved Jeremy. That's what you should do. You should move the dude who moved Jeremy. That's some bullshit. What kind of bullshit is that?
I disagree. I'm glad that Blue did. Thank you.
No. You don't do no shit like that just because you fucking don't like it. Hold on. That's the fucking problem with Clubhouse. You weak motherfuckers because you don't like what somebody's saying, you want to move them.
That's a fact, JB.
I don't agree with this crazy motherfucker Jeremy every time. I ain't gonna move his ass.
Everybody, hold on 1 second. First off, if I mod somebody, please don't move them.
So,
and even if I disagree with him, I'm gonna give him a chance to say what he has to say.
All right. So my inherited advantage is that I'm Jewish and I was born rich, and I'm no way successful, even though I have 3 graduate degrees. When someone says they have $1 billion business as their premise, that's a fucking lie, right? That's just a lie.
Yeah?
Be fucking honest.
It is a lie. Why are you on Clubhouse rubbing shoulders with us, Billion?
Okay.
I'm Jewish. I got fucking connected.
Wait, hold on a second. Why does this man have to validate himself to anybody? When this,
you never know who he is.
That's what he led by, JB. He led and tried to boost himself above.
He was following
Greg Cardone comes on here, right?
He was following Anthony.
Yeah, and Greg Cardone sits in his own rooms and he's moderating.
So just to be heads up, like Elon Musk is trying to buy my company publicly for $1 billion.
Of course he did. Of course.
And the sky is green. The sky is green.
Hold on a second. First off, let me just say this, Jeremy. I respect you, dude. I know who you are. You don't have to validate yourself to nobody. Stand on your square. Fuck.
Yeah. That's a fact. You can Google that, by the way. I'm actually on the front page of DJ Academics right now on a phone call with him trying to buy my. First, he offered me $200 million.
Of course you did.
You went from Elon to academics? Wow.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's reposted. I'm going off your culture because I'm sure you follow academics. So I went to the simplest thing I could think of that you could find media-wise. You know what I mean? So that's why
You up in his culture?
JB,
Are you fucking kidding me?
Can you hear me, JB?
I can hear you. What am I fucking kidding you about? I didn't curse at you, but go ahead.
I'm talking to you because remember you asked me the question where all this started? You asked me what was my smoke with Anthony. You remember that? And you were saying, remember that question?
Well, the question I had was why he was be called a traitor. But go ahead.
No, exactly. And you were asking me what was it based on, and I started to tell you. Remember that's where that started.
All right. So what's your point, sir?
Right. So because again, I was explaining to you because it was disingenuous when you told Jeremy, well, we're both not black, so that's what you put in Jeremy's ear. So that's not really cool because the reality
Wait, I
was.
said you're not black.
Yeah, no. You said Jeremy in some kind of joking kind of way, like, well, you're not black, so you can't understand. You remember you said that?
Well, because you said we couldn't possibly understand.
No, I didn't say anything about we. I'm talking to you, JB.
I couldn't understand because I'm not black.
I said, first of all,
my apologies, Jeremy.
No, you couldn't understand. Exactly. I didn't say anything about Jeremy. You brought Jeremy in. I said you don't understand because you're not black. Is what I was telling you. So when I was explaining about this traitor, I was explaining my answer about why Anthony's a traitor. Why Anthony is a traitor. I was telling you about answering your question why I know Anthony is a traitor to black people. And I mentioned the analogy amongst the Jewish community. If you had a Jewish person talking against the Jewish community, the way Anthony is a black man talking against black folks, you too would have a certain, and the Japanese community, same thing, and the Chinese community, same thing. One of our own, how we deal with our own black people because we black, and we get judged as being black every day. So that's what I'm saying. You'll never know what that's like, no matter how hard you try, and we understand that as black folks. We get it. I'm not, hold on. I'm answering your question still, JB. I'm answering your question, explaining to you why I know that dude right there is detrimental to black folks. It ain't coming off of one conversation with you.
Ooh, what dude?
Anthony. He's talking about
Anthony, Jerry, before you got in the room, go back if the replays is on, you can hear all of it. Why I know about this dude, Anthony, and why he singled me out. And I wanted to ask him. He says he wanted to ask about my resume and what I've done in my life. Anthony, you ever left this country, America? Yeah, he might be busy. Well, he might be busy doing some other stuff. When he get a chance, you know what I'm saying? So he want to run down this, he don't have as much as me kind of thing. I got so many millions, and he want to do this thing. That's important to him. I'm talking about the future of black folks in this country right now and what we up against right now. So whether you, JB, or Allen, or who the hell ever understands what we up against, you ain't never going to be black, man. Ever. Well, not in your wildest dreams. Okay, in this body right here. So you're not going to know what it's like.
Tell me what you're up against in this country.
Hold on, man.
Wait, let me finish my question, sir. What are you up against? Because I look around my room and I see some very successful, not just business, but in life. Can I finish a sentence, please? Thank you.
What I'm up against, right?
Okay, because you don't shut the fuck up to have the conversation. You want to center everything around you. You gotta learn some decorum, bro. If I'm gonna learn, you gotta let me talk and ask the questions. How about that?
Let me explain a little bit better.
Okay, maybe you could go to the fucking audience.
I thought you was asking me a question with your emotional
I'm gonna move you the fuck down. I'm gonna kick you out.
Just calm down, guys. Just relax, guys. Just relax. Hey, sweet.
It's funny. I hope no one gives y'all money. Oh shit.
Take a deep breath, sweet. What you say about money?
I said, I hope nobody gives these guys money. They're gonna self-implode. It's crazy.
Yeah,
he wants some reparations, man. He needs some reparations. That's what he needs, man. That's what he waiting for, reparations. He's on his knees begging for reparations, asking me if I ever been out the country. This nigga serious?
Anthony, let me say this. I open these rooms honestly, have good conversation, hopefully learn something. But if you don't give me a chance to ask my question and finish my question without interjecting himself like he always does, because he has to be the center of the conversation, then I'm never going to learn. I never claimed I'm a black man in America, right? But I tell you what, he didn't like the fact that I said I look around my room on my stage, I see successful black men, not just in business, but in life. He don't want to hear that. He don't want to hear the positivity, and he don't want to know what I see.
I got no problem hearing that.
True, JB.
Okay, then you have a problem. You have a problem with your mic decorum. I know that. You don't let me finish. The conversation is unfinished, and then you can go.
Can I say something?
No, you cannot. You can wait your turn, please. Thank you. Because you've been trying to say something for hours. I'll fuck with Jerry Malcolm and Anthony Edwards every day of the week. I don't care if they're black. They're good men who treat me with respect. But again, tell me the problems you have in this country. Sweet. What issues are you facing?
Bro, again, you ain't never hang out with Jerry Malcolm, hang out with Anthony. No problem. But don't think you representing black folks ever. Bring out with as many black folks as you want to. Make money off of them. Make money with them. Sell them. I don't care what you do, man. But you ain't representing black folks ever. Just know that, JB. I'm not trying to represent whoever the hell you represent. I just want you to know. Get all the black friends you can get, man. That's what I'm telling you, bro. That's what I'm telling you. I don't give a damn about your questions. I speak my mind, boy. You don't run me. That's what you gonna understand.
Calm down, sweet. You're
You don't run me, man. I'm gonna leave this place one day. I'm going out and be
says this dude's in the studio.
Don't get nervous for JB. I'm talking to JB. That's another man like I'm a man. I don't give a damn about your clubhouse room, homeboy. Who did
And now says he's living in the studio apartment.
You know what I'm saying? You go ahead and get all your black friends you can get, but you ain't never gonna be black. Now,
Oh my God.
now stand on that. You ain't never gonna know what it's like.
Hey, sweet.
Well,
That'll teach us.
I'm trying to.
Go get all your black friends.
I'm trying to understand what it means to be black for you in America. Tell me what it means for you to be black in America.
I can answer the question respectfully.
That ain't my job to make you understand what it is to be black, homeboy.
So then why were you having a
That
conversation?
ain't my job to make you understand what it is to be black. That's bigger than me.
Okay, let's move
Yeah.
on.
When you work on being a better you,
I'm trying.
don't worry about what it is to be black. You ain't never gonna be black.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Nathan, go ahead.
You're not tired of that?
Okay.
Listen, I don't like to argue like that. I like to put data points. And JB, he had a genuine question, right? If somebody of a non-black person want to know what's going on, and Anthony answers, you have to know the history, right? I'm gonna use my grandfather as an example. He was a man born in Jim Crow, got drafted in World War II, right? Came back to Jim Crow, didn't get his benefit for payment. Watched Japanese people. He fought the Japanese to get reparations. Watched Jewish people get reparations. Still to this day, he died 3-4 years ago at 90-something years old. Haven't got a sorry, haven't got a nickel. You know what I mean? He owned 5 houses. Granted, it's not all about what Andy's talking about. Get it done, get money. It's about respect and dignity. And just because he made it, there are plenty of other black people that's been in horrible conditions whose fathers never came back from the war. Look, they did science experiments on these men, right? So for somebody, it doesn't matter what race you are. If the country have done that to your people, whatever race group it was, we already know that we, as a country, gave Japanese people that was locked up in internment camps here. Their people attacked us on Pearl Harbor. Black men have fought in every war in this country, every last one of them, right? So if I hear something disrespectful as saying somebody like my grandfather don't deserve payment, Anthony, that's very disrespectful.
Nick, you are not your grandfather. You are not your grandfather.
Let me finish so you can explain it, because I worked in insurance companies before too. If somebody
You're calling out my name, so I will respond to you, my brother. You called my name out talking about I was very disrespectful, so I'm gonna answer you. I'm gonna answer the bell.
Let me finish. The people, the Japanese people who got paid, put in internment camps, most of those people passed away.
That's a lie. Most of the people that got paid for Japanese internment camps were the people themselves that went through the indignity. That's a lie. You're wrong, Nathan. That's a lie.
But he's still lying about it. There are many people, Japanese people, you can look it up, who got paid. Jewish people whose parents died.
You're wrong about the internment camps. You're lying to try to make a point, and you're wrong.
And knowing he's wrong about it, because I actually studied this.
CTR proof.
The Jewish people who died in the Holocaust, their relatives and survivors did get paid and still getting paid to this day.
By the German government, not America.
Exactly. America never paid the Jews reparations. That's another lie. You're 2 for 2. You're 2 for 2 with the lie.
What is it? Native Americans are still getting paid to this day, so it's not some type of disbelief that You must hate. Do you really hate black people that much for people like my grandfather and his kids not to get a freaking dime?
You are not your grandfather.
Honestly,
This is crazy.
I'm gonna explain it in 10 seconds. If somebody run over your mom, Anthony, and kill her on the road, the insurance company will pay the net in line. It's the same concept. If you say that
it's not the same concept.
For you not to understand these concepts of how reparations are supposed to get paid, you're not that smart then. Or you do, or you are, and you're deliberately being biased on purpose. They have an untold agenda.
Can I ask you a question, if you don't mind? Yeah, honestly, because I actually do believe you're owed reparations. But like, let's say you are. I feel that like a lot of black people were completely 100% mismanaged, mishandled. The whole situation is awful. You deserve reparations. So let me ask you this, and I'm serious. How much do you think you deserve, right? And once you get that, then what? That's my question. It's like, okay, you deserve reparations. How much do you believe you deserve? And once you get reparations, will you still be upset, or will you go, okay, fair is fair, and move on? I'm curious, and move on.
You know what, man? That's a good question. I'm not sure exactly, but I think it's some land, education, less taxes, repositioning taxes. 5% taxes that we paying that black people pay should go back to our communities, right? Secondly, if you owe money to the bank, Jeremy, it's not your prerogative what they do with the money. If you
say that again, he didn't hear you. Say that again. It's none of his business.
Call the bank back and say, hey, are you going to do the right thing with this money? Are you going to invest this in stocks and do all these things?
I'm just curious what you would do. And what you, and how you. I'm curious what you would do. And how you feel.
I bet you are curious how we want to spend our money. I bet you are curious about it.
I am curious. I
know you want to know how black folks want to spend their money. Might want to get it right and get some of that money, huh?
Okay, wait, sweet. Most black people will find it, they feel appreciated. I think that's going to heal the racial tensions that's in our country, right? Also, too, certain black people like my grandmother, she's still alive on my mom's side, who was born in Jim Crow. She's 80-something years old, pushing 90. What she's going to do with it, maybe she's going to buy some land to leave to her kids, maybe take a vacation, right? Who knows? But certain other black people, it's multiple black people around who have different reasons and purposes in their life. Maybe they want to donate it to charities. Maybe they want to help out the black community.
No, what would you do? I want to know what you would do.
Hey, Jeremy, when you going to
Jeremy.
I'm more curious.
Jeremy, I had a quick question for you, Jeremy. Jeremy, my question to you is this, right?
After.
Jeremy, here's what's up, man. You said you support reparations, right, Jeremy? My question to you is, how would you feel about people that are phenotypically white getting reparations for slavery? What are your thoughts on that?
I have no feelings on this. Like,
do you know what the question is? Do you understand the question?
A trick question.
It's like exactly. I'm not.
What's the explain the question, because I don't think you understand the question, Jeremy.
It actually happened.
I want to say, like, because like.
Let him answer.
I would like to, Jeremy, if you understand that you have an opinion about reparations, you feel that black people should get it. Now, if somebody who is phenotypically white gets reparations, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know anything you're talking about. I was simply stating. And by the way, I don't sit here and pretend to be a scholar and read 50 books a day on race. Okay? I don't pretend to be.
No, he just asked you what are your thoughts on it.
I don't know what he's talking about. Of course you don't.
I owe Jeremy
I
an
just said
apology. It's obvious you don't read Jeremy. We know.
No, even if you don't know what he's talking about, even if you don't
Wait a second, guys. First off, why are 5 people talking at the same time? That's one thing. Second thing, I know you may not want to hear this, and this may not be what you want, but reparations already started outside of Chicago. How about that? Anthony, mic is yours.
Yeah, JB, man, listen. If there are people outside of Chicago,
If you're trying to have a conversation with somebody, don't you think like attacking him, just like 5 different guys, isn't that like counterintuitive? You think maybe?
You know, like when people gang up, like people gang up on you, like 2 or 3 people.
I think
you might get stabbed in the chest. You need to chill, Jeremy. I don't want you to get stabbed in the chest, Jeremy. You might stab you in the chest. Be careful, Jeremy.
Other people.
All right, hold on a second. We're gonna let Jeremy speak freely. And if more than one person comes off the mic, I'm just gonna throw them out. I'm letting them down. Jeremy, go ahead.
We got plays, because I can talk about Cicero
Jeremy
forever. Because Cicero.
Who can't?
Why do this
Shut up, Jim. They keep muting me every time I try and talk. What I'm simply trying to say is I thought I was being pretty polite.
So we're just on Instagram, but look what they brought me.
Some of y'all just don't know how to do that. And like, I don't get it, but it's you know, you can be mad all you want. I mean, it doesn't change my opinion. I just don't think you're being very helpful with people trying to have a real conversation. It seems like you want to sit in a room and yell all day. And just so you know, you could sit in this room and yell all day, but guess where it goes? Nowhere. You're still going to be the angry guy on Clubhouse that nobody gives a shit about. Or you could have a conversation with someone who actually has a platform, who might listen to you and have a real conversation and make a little bit of change. But you don't want to do that. You want to be angry. So be it.
You don't have to listen at us to make change. Make change on your own. You don't need black people.
I don't need to make change. That's the thing.
Yeah, you do. As a white man in America, you do need to make change. Yes,
I don't.
No.
Because
No. Being white does not mean you need to make change.
Hold on
What the fuck?
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, it does.
So what was the point?
Can I speak? Can I
So
speak?
crazy.
Ever. This is the best room ever, JB.
It's cringy.
Thank you. Hold on. Guys,
Because I came here about my motherfucking crew, that's why.
It's Jay. It's
Yo, Jeremy, I can't even lie. You brought the heat tonight, bro.
Hold on, let the queen speak. Let the queen speak.
Hey, Jeremy. Time out for 1 second. I just want to say something. Time out. I want to let this lady speak, and then I want to say something after she speaks. Just 1 second, Jeremy. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Go ahead, miss.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask a question because you the only thing, it seems like you felt that you were under attack by Anthony just asking you a question. And even if you're not aware of the whole circumstances surrounding his question, even if it was a hypothetical, he asked you, how would you feel about that? So you don't have to know all the details to give us how you would feel about something. And instead, you came off as if someone was attacking you about how you would feel.
How is it?
Okay.
So we still would like to know.
That's a crazy statement. You basically just asked me. Can you stop talking? You basically just asked me to give you a feeling on something that I didn't understand. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all.
Hold on, ma'am. Let me dialogue with him, please. So you didn't understand. Well, let me help you.
I'm gonna tell you how I felt. I felt like I didn't understand.
It gotta be one person at a time, bro. Just let her land.
Well, I'll tell you how I felt. I felt like I didn't understand. How's that? That's how I felt.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Miss. Go ahead, land, Miss.
Let Ron speak.
Well, I think you're being very disingenuous. I think you did understand. Because the simple question was, how would you feel if it was a white person that was the shoe was on the other foot, getting reparations for slavery? It's very simple.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't to me. It's like I had no idea what you were saying. You didn't say it like that. Like, I don't understand what you said.
You're being disingenuous.
It's crazy.
Even if you said he didn't say it like that,
This is why nobody takes Clubhouse seriously.
Jeremy, you got Jeremy.
Yes, get planned for it. Yeah, she comfortable somewhere, something is good. She got a lot of things that ain't over so rants, and I said she's the extra dust. Look like a lamp for us. Get past me, rush you, pass her up. Took this bitch worldwide, nigga, we gassing. Now it's the
But yeah, but
Jeremy
you land
won't
me?
shut the hell up. Jeremy won't.
I know Jeremy, just let her land for just 1 second. And the guy that keep jumping in, I know y'all are used to this, but it's getting a little difficult because Jeremy's definitely adding a different conversation.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go live on my platform. We're gonna have this conversation.
We're not coming.
With my team and him. You don't have to. You don't have to join.
I know they want to know what it is, Jerm. And if nobody told you, you sound like the fat kid from Grand Theft Auto.
Finish speaking before somebody else comes off the mic.
Well, Jay.
Aaron has been
Jeremy, not mad at Anthony. Anthony obviously a rap about reparations, but y'all attacking him. I don't want to understand it. He said
Jeremy thinks he's important, so he just needs to shut the fuck up and let people talk.
Hold on 1 second. Jeremy actually, what I liked what Jeremy said, which was actually he rarely here on Clubhouse. He was honest, and I give him props for it. He said he didn't know the question, he didn't understand the question, which is fine. But I think the question was fair. As much as I respect Anthony more than I respect myself, I think the issue with reparations is more about making a gesture, not so much the money itself. And that's, as a Jew, I think we felt from the Germans that the gesture was far more important than what that wealth was going to offer. How can money buy you back people that you lost in the Holocaust, just like with slavery? You can't do that. So,
Hey, boss.
Go ahead.
Just a heads up. I'm now live on my Twitch stream. And there's about 1 million people in there.
Good, bro. Good.
So just be aware when we're having this conversation. I'm just letting you know.
This is why you should never own it to the guy who's Jewish guy who just said something. And this is why I don't like having these conversations. Because that's not what black people are looking for just as a gesture. Wait 1 second. Let me say one more thing. I'm gonna say something. I'm not going to America may not give the Jews reparations, but America gave the Jews some things that's equal to reparations. They gave all kinds of things that made life as well as easy for them. And they didn't give them the black people. So it is fucked up for black people. I got a friend who has a captain who was fucking black, and he sent me about 5 recent articles about things that are going on with the police. The racism is unbelievable against the black people. However, me personally, I don't like to get on Clubhouse talking about shit like this. Me personally, I don't like to keep talking about shit that I but you know what? You know what I want to talk about? Because sweet, I come from where you come from, okay? So I don't do the same bullshit you want, right? So when I started focusing on what the fuck I can change and stop worrying about the what, I'm not gonna keep getting upset about I want this, I want that. I'm gonna figure out a way to get in my motherfucking life because life being this shit ain't crazy.
Hey, can we agree you don't know what you do outside of the house?
Hey, can we agree? I don't give a fuck. I don't be
I don't know why you take an issue with, let me talk about Carmelo Anthony up in here and JB. That's when it's all started.
No, right now, motherfucking help and the black people didn't. I'm agreeing with that. All I'm saying is how much fucking longer we gonna keep talking about this shit? We talked about it last year. We talked about it 2 years ago. We talked about it 4 years ago. How about if we talk about? How about you say this to me? I'm gonna DM you, bro. I got some property. I got this business we can probably put together and build on. You wanna know what me and this motherfucker? You wanna know what me and this motherfucking Jeremy do? Let me tell you what me and Jeremy do.
Not really, but go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what me and
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you what me and this white dude do. Okay.
Go ahead.
We connect in real life and talk about how to make some motherfucking money together. We do shit like that in real life.
Good.
Okay? Instead of me sitting up here,
Good.
all this. Hey, bro, listen, sweet. Listen, I'm just.
I don't know who people are yelling. This
Yeah, man. What you want us to sing your praises, Jerry? I ain't got no smoke with you. We talking about Carmelo.
You too negative, sweet. I'm being you too negative.
Everybody else is in there. Nobody. You and Jerry make your money.
No. Hey, sweet. You too negative, bro. You too negative, bro. You too negative.
I would like to say something.
You don't understand, man. I'm not trying to win no points with you.
I didn't say that.
I'm too negative. Yelling each other on fucking.
Bro, you too negative, bro.
Asking me about Anthony. It got nothing to do with me and you.
Why you worried about what we do all the time?
I'm just saying.
I'm not trying to stop your money with Jeremy.
You've been doing the same thing for 4 years and nobody listens or cares. I'm like,
I would like to speak.
Yo, there's no one.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't no more valuable than nobody else, man.
Listening.
That's the point you don't seem to get, man.
This is the most traffic you will have tonight. It's the most traffic you can have.
JB isn't mod me. I mean, isn't mute me. Don't mute me, nobody.
Me being here, I'm not muting anybody. Y'all go ahead.
You are nobody. Don't nobody know you, bro. Nobody knows you, bro. Nobody knows you.
I got it. I know.
Nobody knows you.
I know.
Then you try to sound like you black.
I know.
Okay.
Get your ass. You're right. I don't have a following. You're right. You're right.
We don't give a fuck about your following. Nobody know you, nigga.
You're so crazy. Yo, do me a favor. Sit home and be the hottest person in your house, okay? You can yell at the microphone all day long.
Hey, can I speak?
Don't bang her. Hey, wait, no, one second. Don't bang on her, Jeremy. Bang on one of the dudes, not her. Bang on one of the dudes, not her.
It's just funny, because, like, there's, 40 people in the room. You guys think you have a megaphone?
Hey, Jeremy,
I thought you yell at each other.
Yeah, we do, Jeremy. Jeremy.
You have no traffic.
No one's gonna go out there on the Carmelo Anthony case.
Jeremy.
We need some people in the room.
All right, I'm going to talk for a second. What I don't understand is, and I'm being serious, and please let me finish my sentence. All I heard Jeremy say is, I don't understand the question. I don't understand what you're talking about. And this room just blew up into fire. Is it because Jeremy's white and he didn't understand the question?
Correct.
I'm not understanding all these.
Yeah, it might be some of it.
Because you're angry. Because you're angry and you've been yelling in microphones for the last 4 years and nobody gives a fuck. Got it?
This is the thing. Can I ask you a question?
No one cares. No one cares.
JB, you got this man disrespecting this Nubian queen, JB. Come on.
I'm not talking to the girl. I'm not talking to the girl.
Need to hear another white
I'm
person
not.
tell them they don't
Hey, one second. Everybody meet up. Hey, Jay.
What's wrong with this?
Hey, sweet. Come on, man. Y'all.
Bro, take it back. How much money Jeremy got, man?
Sweet. Hey, I ain't taking up for Jeremy, bro.
I don't give a fuck
Sweet.
how much money he got, man.
Sweet, what's wrong with you, bro?
He's
What's wrong with this dude?
He's talking to this black woman talking about
Really, Jeremy, your tone definitely changes when you're talking to Jeremy versus when you're talking to
I'm talking to my sister like that, man.
aggressive when you're talking to
No. Okay, let me address that.
I don't like that.
All right, everybody mute up. You know what? Hold on. Hold on. I moved Sweet down because he has zero mic control.
Let me address that.
Jerry, go ahead, Jerry.
All right, she just said that my tone changed. If Jeremy is in here yelling and going back and forth just like that, my tone will probably be similar. But I'm gonna say this though, I do actually know Jeremy, and I guess I mean this is crazy. So because Jeremy's white, I can't know the dude. I can't make money with the dude.
No,
I can't break bread with the dude.
No, you may not.
I can't eat with the dude. I mean, is that what it is? Jeremy,
I said that, but we know that it's only going to be certain places you can make money with him in, and then it's going to be a cutoff for you, of course, and you know that. See, this is my thing. This is my thing.
Let her land. Let her land. Go ahead.
Let me ask a question. Even though we do find ourselves in situations where we work with white people, get money with white people, we have to have a common decorum with white people. I get it. But why is it that we can't be honest and say that some of us just might not like them because of our history? Don't interrupt me. Hold on. Just let me finish. Hold on. So some of us might not like them, trust them, agree with them on anything based on them having a blind side to our actual situation. So, like I said, I'm not denying that you don't make money with this dude, right? But in certain situations, there are certain questions that are not to be asked. Like when he asked the question, what are y'all gonna do? Or he asked one gentleman, what is he gonna do with reparations? That's not his business. It's enough for him to know that our last names belong to a lot of white slave masters.
I agree with you. Hey, I agree.
Right, okay, and I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna land. Because of the systematic shit that we went through, and at this point, we don't owe those motherfuckers no explanation. He has no right to ask us shit about what we are owed.
Jeremy, hey, hold on 1 second. One mic on me. Wait. Jeremy, she checked me, and I accepted. 1 second. Jeremy, I accept.
My chat is going crazy. My chat is
Jeremy, can you mute your mother? Hey, mute Jeremy up, please. Hey, listen, Jeremy, I have to agree with her. So so this is who you knew. I'm gonna shut the fuck up with stuff like that. So who's that speaking? What's your name? The girl.
Leo.
Jeremy, my chat's going crazy.
Leah, I'm gonna shut the fuck up on that one. So go ahead, Jeremy. You on your own with that one, homie.
Yeah, my chat's going crazy. You know what? You're right. You don't have to be that way to white people. You should just be nice. And like, I get it. You don't get it. I understand. You don't have to be nice to people. You yell all day.
No, we are nice to you.
And chat,
I would like to chime in, please.
Whenever
I get a chance.
Chat's going crazy, but I'm gonna tie this.
Another white man making content of black people.
I'm making so much content right now. So much content. You wouldn't even know. You would not believe how much money I'm making in donations right now.
Let's go to
ridiculous amount of money.
Let's go to Phineas and then Davey. Go ahead, Phineas.
So please keep yelling. I'm making a bag.
Okay.
I'm making a bag.
I'm making a bag, dude.
All right, guys, come on. Let's get back to the conversation.
Hold up. She mocked him, but if he says something, it's gonna be, he's talking to the woman.
Okay, Phineas, go ahead.
Yeah, this is very interesting room. I see a lot of disrespect going around, and I don't think it's necessary. I was in a room a little bit earlier. I mean, another room, and it was from Tech Bros or something like that. And it was very uplifting because the brothers were talking about ways to support each other. They were talking
What room was that, bud?
Stop, Jerry.
I think they call it. Well, please.
I love that.
Oh my God, will you shut up?
Can you not hang out in the bathroom because it echoes?
No,
I like Leo. I like her, bro.
My place has a wall. There's a lot of room in here, nigga.
No shot.
Never mind. I can't make a point here, clearly.
All right, thank you. Davey.
Yeah, he's nice. I like you a lot, bro. Appreciate you.
You didn't like him enough to be quiet so he can finish his
I can hear you on the toilet.
Hold on a second. Davey, go ahead, Davey.
No, I don't have much to say. I mean, the conversation kind of shifted from the topic of the room, and there's just a lot of personal vendettas going on. So I mean, I'm out of it for now.
Hey Jay, let me say something. Hey Jay, just look at this.
I think Jeremy is JB retarded nephew or something.
Hey JB, just look at this.
I bet you can't spell retarded. I
thought you were going to Twitch.
I am on Twitch. I'm making so much money. I probably made $1,200.
Okay, 1 second, Jim.
$1,200 in donations.
Jeremy, 1 second. JB.
Nigga, shut up.
Hey JB, look at this, man. JB, one little switch in the room. Well, Jeremy, 1 second. One little switch in the room. People, look how emotional y'all are getting because one motherfucker came on stage and this is like a puppet master and a bunch of How y'all getting so emotional because of one motherfucker on the stage?
Yo, because everybody hold on. Everybody hold on.
I'm on that ass like insane.
So Jerry, let me say this. You know me, right? I'm not afraid of anybody or anything. I don't give a fuck. Just talk. But I'm afraid to tell Miss Leo I like what she's doing and what she's saying, because I don't know if she accepts compliments from white men.
No, she wouldn't. She wouldn't.
Ask her, Leo.
You'll take a cash app though, guaranteed.
That's fuck. Hey, Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm not that shallow. I accept compliments from white men every day, actually. So I'm not that shallow. I'm a woman. I just, just so far you can go.
$3,000 just sitting here. It's amazing.
What you just said was disrespectful, Jeremy. I took offense to it. But
well, guess what? You go ahead and say,
hey, take a screenshot.
Be offended. Listen, I'll be here all night. I got zingers all night.
Hey, Jerry, take a screenshot of your cash app.
That's Jeremy, not Jerry. That's Jeremy.
You got me saying, bro.
Jeremy.
Let me just say this. Hold on. Let me just say this. Miss Leo, I like what you have to say, and I think you're a beautiful woman. Back to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like Miss Cleo too.
No, it's Leo, you fucktard.
Hey, Jeremy. Leave it, Jeremy. Leave Leo alone, bro. Go to somebody else.
Oh, shit. Oh, they keep shredding me. No.
They ain't one of the dudes. Argue with a dude.
Nah, she keeps saying his name. Fuck that shit, bro.
I don't know if they his name. Oh, yeah.
She's mocking him and mocking his voice.
Why are you pulling, bro?
Now you know.
Why are you in the McDonald's bathroom talking to me?
I'm not in the McDonald's bathroom, you weird, ugly fuck.
You in the McDonald's bathroom on your knees. Stop playing.
Okay, one mic. Hey, everybody quiet. Hey, Jeremy, please, everybody meet up. JB, you want to do a room reset since we go ahead and do a room reset, bro.
Yeah, reset these.
Go ahead, JB.
Your mother not in here, Jeremy.
Healthy debates. Carmelo Anthony will be found innocent. Prove me wrong. Guys, we got a pink ticket. Cash that in. Let me say hello to Tracy, David. What's up, David? Holly, I see you. Trish, if you have a pink ticket, cash it in. Tonight's raffle grand prize is all expense dinner with Jeremy Green.
Let's go, yo. I'll take you somewhere nice. You get supersized, all that shit. It'll be fire.
Oh, he's
and listen, if you girls out there, I'm gonna take you to Red Lobster. You know what I mean?
So obsessed with yourself. You're a Guido, so you're so obsessed with yourself.
Guido go crazy.
Racist is coming out, though, right? The more he talks, the more we hear that racist ass come out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How is it racist to like shellfish? I love shellfish.
Nigga, you love spaghetti.
You like confused?
No, I love shellfish.
Better see your head.
You need to watch.
Hey, JB, your room is bigger than fucking Debate the News, bro. JB?
Well, yeah, because I'm here. Because I'm up here, JB. Let's go kill this. Come on, JB.
JB,
you that guy.
You are bigger than Debate the fucking News right now, bro. If you did this every day, you would dominate them.
If you had me and Jerry and a couple of the retards down below, like hating, you would just be killing.
Hey, Jeremy, I got a brand. I want to send you. I see you wear caps. I sell fuck white supremacy caps. Can I send you one?
100%. Yo, listen. As long as I can cash app you for it. I'll put that bitch on as long as I can cash app you for it, okay?
Cool. I'm gonna follow you when I send it to you.
Hey, Jeremy, give her a shout on your IG. Just show her some love.
I'm gonna give you a shout out right now on your. I'm gonna show you.
A nice one though, not crazy. Yeah. Hey, Leo, do you have a brand? You have a brand, Leo?
Yeah, I send all of you guys caps, man.
Hey, Leo.
No, put it in chat. He's gonna put it in a story.
Leo, I kind of got a little bit of. I might be able to help you. You know, I'm doing 10 million views on videos. I don't know. Maybe you should listen to the content guy. Maybe.
I was super calm and polite. Then you started fucking with me and poking at me and shit. Then I had to go ahead and fucking roundhouse.
Actually, you were being obnoxious, and I know that white slander. Like I study my enemies, so I know like when that little shit comes out.
This
Yeah,
is a typical woman dodging accountability is what this is.
I'm very disturbed. I have a lot of disturbance.
What happened? Is I gave you a ninja kick in the forehead for being mean, and you didn't like it.
Jeremy, let me ask Miss Leo a question, please. Miss Leo, so you are you publicly saying that the white man is your enemy?
I'm saying that
say it loud in the back so we can hear you.
I believe that there is an agenda with the white race that is anti-black.
Yo, just so you know, I love shit like this. You know why? Because I love when people get on Clubhouse and talk crazy and think somebody will not hear this.
I think what the young lady
We
is trying
don't
to say.
care who hear this. It's the truth. We don't care.
No, because you ain't got a job. Because you ain't got a job to lose. I got it.
But I got money, though. I got money, Jeremy. I got money.
You ain't got no money. You ain't got no money. You ain't got no money. Stop.
I think what the young lady. Hey, hold on. I think what the young lady is trying to explain to you is that we understand when you white people are being condescending. Okay.
Yo, no, I'm being listen, I'm being condescending as fuck, but it was never had to go there.
But you should never go there if that's not the type of person.
And JB, we not blaming you. We not blaming you, JB. We not blaming you, JB.
First of all,
this is definitely JB's fault.
Oh shit.
Poked me in the motherfucking chest. And you were talking reckless, and I decided to get up and fucking run.
So basically, you're saying depending on the temperature, you're racist. It depends on the temperature, though.
That's you, Leo. That's you, though. Depending on the temperature, you're racist.
First of all, you ain't gonna paint me a racist because everybody you hang out with is retarded, okay? So, like, let's be clear on that.
No, you can't.
Hey, I think Leo like Jeremy. I'm starting to see something. I think Leo actually likes Jeremy.
Hey, listen. That's a cold
Leo,
word.
can black people be racist, Leo? Leo, can black people be racist?
Absolutely not.
Yo, Leo, can black people be racist?
Absolutely not.
No, we can't.
Thank you for calling Coletti's. We are now closed on Tuesdays. Our hours of operation will remain the same Wednesday through Monday. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at colettisrestaurant@gmail.com. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
We can be bigots, but we can't be racist.
We can be prejudiced, but we cannot be racist.
Yo, this is the craziest shit I ever heard, yo. Black people can absolutely be racist.
Name one institution we have.
Hold on, Leo. I just want to say something to you real quick. You don't know me, I don't know you, right? We're just talking shit, whatever, okay? Honest, like, I'm not mad at you, fucking around, but let me just say something. Before you go down this rabbit hole with me, right? Do a little research, and I'm telling you this just because you don't want something to end up on the internet tomorrow that might be crazy. Honestly, you want to like be cool, like not
Are you threatening her?
We don't care about the internet.
Are you threatening her? Are you threatening her?
No, he's not.
Listen to what I'm saying. The minute you start saying shit,
Beyonce's internet, not yours.
The minute I start saying what?
The minute you start calling somebody like racist and shit like that, you really could fuck with someone's life, okay?
Okay.
I'm saying, when you say that, know who you're saying that to, because I'm going to hold it accountable, and I'm telling you, I'm going to take this thing, I'm going to chop it up, and I'm going to make an incredible piece of content out of it.
I don't care.
Well, Jeremy, we know you live in the basement and you got nothing but time. We know, Jeremy.
Okay.
Hey, Leo.
To be fair, Leo sound like she talking from the basement, to be fair.
Yo, Leo.
Kobe stupid.
Call him a suspected white supremacist.
But this is my thing. He said enough. he said enough in this room to prove that he is racist. I wouldn't have to prove that.
Okay, tell me what I said that made me racist.
And Anthony's a certified sellout. We throwing him in the trunk.
We gonna get on your Uncle Ruckus ass later,
One of the things that I know you said a lot, but I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna let somebody else talk. I'm gonna say this. Hey, you can't talk over me because I'm not submissive to you. You have to
let her land, bro. Jeremy, just let her land, bro. Just let her land.
Ass face.
One at a time. Go ahead, land.
Put this shit.
So you said this one thing that really stood out as racist to me. You said you guys aren't going to do anything but be on this app and scream and nobody's going to ever give a fuck. Why did you say that? Because you already know your people don't give a fuck, right? So you saying that it was like, oh, I'm stretching out, I'm stretching out my hand to help you. But if you don't do it my way, then you're just gonna be the same motherfuckers that don't nobody give a fuck about and just be mad at racism. That's basically what you said. And that passive, aggressive racism is just as worse as some upfront ass racism. So don't play in my
baby girl, baby girl Leo.
Let me respond.
Hold up.
No, let me respond. Chat.
I ain't gonna be long-winded. I just want to say this and I'm gonna land. I
don't need you to. Let me respond. So what you did to me is because I said what I said. So I said y'all just go in the room yelling at each other and nobody fuck because no one's.
Jeremy, can you go build the helicopter from scratch or something? We don't care.
Man, mute your mic. One mic.
Let me finish. That's not directed at people. That's directed at any idiots that sit in the room and looking forth all day. Now, you can make that all you want, but that's not the narrative that's going to work. So that ain't going to work. Next.
Yeah, I heard you too.
Okay. I got an announcement. I got an announcement. 1 second. Hey, let's move the mic around a little bit because more people are trying to talk, y'all. Y'all kind of like dominate. So move the mic around. Go ahead, bro.
Yo, so when you gotta pay attention. When he says retarded, that's code word for nigga, right? That's what he's saying. I'm from New England, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I know how racist it is up this. Every time, shut up, bro. Ain't nobody talking to you.
Sound slow, bro. Like that means this. Retarded means that's slow, motherfucker. That's what it.
Yeah, you must ride the slow bus, bro.
Like what he said, who dropped him?
I don't know.
You need to drop it. Get your room under control. Stop the bitch ass.
Bring him back up.
I ain't gonna lie, that was some illogical, dumb shit to say though.
Yeah, that was kind of stupid what he said.
Why it's illogical?
Well, hold on a second.
Bring him back up.
Wait, hold on a second. Jeremy, just let me just ask you. Who called me who's the one that said I'm a bitch? Who's the one that said that?
The guy from Massachusetts said
that would be me. That would be me.
So wait, because you don't like the conversation, you sat here for 4 hours indulging in the conversation because I'm letting people express themselves. I'm a bitch.
No, you're a bitch because
I'm smoking these guys.
I'm answering you. Calm down. You're a bitch because when Jeremy came in the room, you allowed him to derail the conversation so much. Before he got here, JB, wait. Before he got here, you were actually engaging in an educational and fruitful conversation. The minute that Jeremy came, you let it get derailed. That's bitch assness.
Okay. Yeah. Well, first off, I was kind of getting tired of the conversation because it was the same stuff was getting regurgitated. Okay,
it was me. I'll be honest, guys. It was Jerry Melvin.
Well, thank you, Jerry. But let me just say this: if you've been on Clubhouse long enough, you know that rooms move around. They don't always stay on topic. They don't stay on the title. Jeremy came in. He lit the room on fire. He's a grown-ass man. He's standing on this square. I got no problems with that. The people in this room are coming after him. Rest assured, if you wouldn't fucking come after him, he'd leave you alone. But people have to
let me say something, Jeremy. Let me say something. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's me who brought Jeremy in. It's me who put one mic on Jeremy. It's not JB. So if anybody derailed the room, it was me. It was not JB.
Jerry, you got
No, one second. No, one second. No, one second. It's my motherfucking room. When I'm here, it's my motherfucking room. Now what? Now what?
Yeah.
How about that?
Solidifies what I said. That JB.
Exactly. JB's not a bitch. Bro. You know what? You know what the problem is? You're a Karen. You're a Karen. That's what the problem is. No. Let me tell you what the problem is. Y'all are so fucking sensitive on a goddamn social audio app. Who gives a fuck? It's just fucking content, bro. Just bang. Just bang. Is it that fucking serious? You gonna lose sleep over this shit, bro?
They are.
You calling JB a bitch because this is ridiculous.
He
Don't be
doesn't know
so
me, Jerry.
sensitive, then. If everybody.
Hold on, truth.
Yeah, why you?
Let me talk, please. Let me say this. First off, the doctor, and I gave you praise earlier. I'm going to still stick to that, but you don't see what happens on this app. In my opinion, is we develop relationships with people, and sometimes those relationships carry over to real life. So when Jerry comes into my space, the first thing I always tell Jerry, this is your room too. I acquiesce to Jerry. So if people have a problem with that, I don't care. Call me a bitch. Believe me, I've been called a lot worse. But if you don't like the conversation, the best feature on this app is the leave quietly button. Back to you, Jerry.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I'm sorry that a lot of y'all are boring and you're not very interesting. So I had to come in here. I was being very polite. I felt like I was being very polite. I was asking questions. I was like, yo, like, why are you being so hateful to each other?
I agree. You being very nice today.
Right.
Normally he's not.
And then someone asked me, hold on. Can I finish? And then someone asked me a question that I didn't understand. And they were like, wow, you don't read a book. I'm like, oh. No, I did. See?
Wait, one mic on the lady. I want to hear what the queen got to say. Go ahead. You know what? Out of respect, Jeremy, just 1 second. Just move on. Let her just land. Hey, wait. See, wait, hold on. Because in Debate the News, I'm not allowed to say queen. So I'm going to say queen. What else am I not allowed to say in there? Go ahead, queen. Beautiful black queen. Go ahead, queen.
I know that's right.
Don't get it fucked. Wait. Don't get it fucked up. Just because I like Jeremy, I know what the fuck I am. I'm not a coon like motherfucking Jonathan Bing, so what the fuck? Go ahead, beautiful black. 1 second, mute up. Go ahead, beautiful black, gorgeous queen. Go ahead. Wait, come on, Jeremy, come on, bro. Listen, cause it will seem disrespectful. Go ahead, queen.
I got it.
So I said he was a liar. I said he's being disingenuous. He didn't understand it when Anthony posed the question. I rephrased the question and reposed the question. He didn't answer the question. He acted like he didn't understand, but you want to come in here and tell us, Mr. Not Understanding, who has $1 billion company, that you don't understand a simple hypothetical question that was posed to you. No one's that dumb. You just were avoiding the answering the question because you knew it wasn't in your favor.
I have to agree with her. You know what? I did hear you avoiding that question, Jeremy. So I'll let you later.
I actually did not understand. Could you please tell me what you meant by that? You got to remember, I'm from New England. I don't read so well. I'm a little slow.
Will you let them know you used to be trailer park trash? Seriously.
Yeah. That's what happened. Child. It's okay, child. No problem.
Hey, you know what, Jeremy?
Okay.
You know what's so dope about this room?
Call on Tyrone.
But you know what the issue is, though? What makes him so interesting is that he comes in rooms and he says things that he wouldn't say to any black person in real life. That's what makes him interesting, his audacity.
Ma'am, let me say something. I've been raised by black people my whole life. You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
So you would think you would have more respect for them than if they raised...
No, let me tell you why. Because black people don't act like this around me. The people I'm around, they don't disrespect me. I don't disrespect them, and they don't act like
we don't even know you. You came out of nowhere tripping.
When people start acting ignorant, then I let them know. Fuck off.
Ignorant is code word for black, yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Jeremy, let me ask you a question. How many black men have you ever had an issue with that you actually took it to them and approached them and they didn't beat your ass?
Oh, shit.
Many.
Many.
Oh, okay. What you?
Hey, I gotta. Hey, wait. Mute up. 1 second. Leo. I gotta wait 1 second. Go ahead.
I'd like to let me educate you. Let me just educate you, because I think you think that like I'm some white guy from like fucking Biloxi, Mississippi. So first of all, I was with Swiss Beats and Y and TD and that whole crew and fucking Webster Projects when you were still like hanging out in your mom's ball sack. Okay, first of all.
My
Second
mom's
of all,
ball sack?
like, yeah, it's called the. Never mind. Anyways, then after that, which I lived there for a long time. I lived in Co-op City for a very, very long time. I was in the street constantly fucking with these people, right? I then went over to another label. Like, I then was raised by Miss Deb, Waka Flocka's mom. Waka's like my brother. So I was out there fucking with all of them. You know nothing about me. And I laugh because y'all talk so... y'all act so like you're tough. And none of y'all are tough. This type of people don't talk like this.
You're a culture vulture, dude.
You're
So when you say none of us are tough, hold on. So when you say none of us are tough, we're not claiming to be tough. Nobody in here ever said we were tough. So hold on. But let me take a survey. Let me take a survey. Just let's take a survey of you saying we're not tough. How many times? Hold on.
40 people in the room?
Yeah. Okay.
40
You
people.
said we're not tough.
You don't have any content. No one listens to you. You don't have a following. You can hear all you want. Nobody's listening.
Okay, so you said we're not tough though. Let me ask you a question. How many times have you seen? Let me ask you a question. You said we're not tough, which we're not. We never told you we were tough. We never told you we came in this room to be tough. Since you said that, that's another thing that white people do. They say things like that. So let's explore this thing though, because it's really an insecurity that you have. No, I'm just listen. I study white people. I know how you think. I study white people. Hold on. Let me tell you something. Hold on. Let me tell you something. You said you're not tough. Why did you say you're not tough?
You work at like Red
No,
Lobster. Look,
you're not gonna talk over me because I don't give a fuck about your perceived white supremacy. You're not more important than me. You're not more important than me. You actually have a mental condition, and it's called white supremacy.
Leo, I'm gonna follow you, Leo, because I actually
Leo, you and your 1,300 followers, you got it.
Okay, but I'm asking you a question though. But no, seriously, you said that you're not tough. You said that you're not tough because that's your insecurity, because you know time after time, whether you've seen it on video, whether you've seen it in real life. Hold on, we are tough. We will beat your ass. Hold on. This is a fact.
No, you won't.
We will beat the fuck out of you.
3373 Coldwater Canyon Avenue.
We are tough. Black men. Okay, hold on, Jeremy. I just want to give you some facts really quick. I just want to give you some facts.
He's saying people in the room is not saying as a whole, so I don't know why you keep trying to do that.
No, I'm telling you. No, I'm just saying he just literally.
No. At the end of the day, you started with this man first, and I don't give a fuck who feel the type of way. You started with this man first. Now you're trying to play victim with that victim mentality shit. That's what you're trying to do right now. You started with him, and like a typical woman, you don't want to take accountability. And I don't give a fuck. Women of all races don't take accountability. And I don't care who don't like it. You're a typical woman that starts fucking shit and don't take accountability. That's just what it is.
Okay.
Yes, that's just what it is. You started with this man first. And I don't even agree. I agree with half of the shit he said. I wanted to debate him, but you just made it so hard because of your fucking hypocrisy and victim blaming. Like the real shit.
I'm telling him.
You sat here and baited that man for fucking 10 minutes before he started turning up. I've sat here the whole time.
Colby.
You sat here and tried to fucking bait him for 10 minutes.
Colby.
And then you want to sit here and play victim like a typical fucking woman, bro. Real.
You're mad because it applies to you.
All right, guys, we gotta dial it down a little bit. Can you get one mic at a time? Let Miss Leo land, guys, before you come off and come at her, please.
Thank
Kobe,
you.
Please.
So I understand that Kobe's upset because it applies to him.
I'm not upset. You live on here, not me.
No, it's okay. You can tag team him all you want to. It's not the truth. Don't need all that. I just need the truth, and the truth is he used and said you're not tough. Why did he say that? Because he knows that he has an insecurity about black people being tougher than he is.
But and my understanding, and I could be wrong. He was talking about people in the room. He wasn't saying black people as a whole. He was talking about people in the room.
I think JB said
That's what I took it as. I could be wrong.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Everybody mute up for a second. Miss Leo, land your plane, then I'm gonna go to Cleveland.
Okay, and I'm gonna say this. I said that to say he used that like he uses all these other little connotations about us being black because he knows black people will beat your ass. We are tough. We don't need to do nothing but get a look pissed off and we gonna beat your ass. So when you say things like that and you think you can get away with saying it on the internet, that's why I pointed it out that you're big and bad and you're controversial just because you do things on the internet that your fuck ass won't do in person.
She said she will beat your ass, Jeremy. Now what?
I know she did. I'm sorry. Hold on, I got a phone call from a real person. Hold on.
I want to go to Clavon. Clavon, you there?
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
How you doing? Happy?
I don't celebrate, but thank you. Happy Sunday to everybody. Was the title clickbait? Because I was waiting on the title.
No, we were talking about that for about 3 or 4 hours before it switched to this.
Oh, okay.
You know you're not allowed to do that in Clubhouse.
What?
No, I'm saying the way he switched titles.
Oh.
without actually putting the words up, I mean.
Oh. Yeah, I was just trying to see.
Trust me, Clavon, this was not planned.
Oh, no, okay. I was just trying to, figure out, what's up with the title. And if it was any new information that I hadn't heard.
No, I had a phone call from real people. Sorry about that.
Oh, who's not the real people? Who's not the real people?
Yeah, Jeremy, I'm offended that you said that, bro. I'm actually offended at that statement. Because I don't know this girl, Leo, but something cool. I just like her energy.
She's so white.
Yeah, I'm so white. So white. I'm really white. I'm like, I'm vanilla, baby.
Miss Leo, let me ask you a question. Do you have the same issues with me that you have with Mr. Jeremy?
I don't. I think I've been in your room before, and it was a subject about something, and I think you kicked me to the goo, but I might have been on route that day. But today,
habitual line stepper.
Today, I don't have an issue with you, JB. I don't have an issue with white people as a whole. I don't have an issue with white people as a whole, but I do have an issue with white people who exercise their white privilege, even in places like Clubhouse.
Well, Miss Leo, let me ask you a question respectfully. Since I'm gonna assert my white privilege as the top left. Do you date white men by any chance? Just asking for.
I don't currently. I have in the past.
Everybody be quiet. They having a conversation. Go ahead, JB. Finish your conversation.
Would you move it to the present? I'm just curious. Where are you based out of? You don't have to give me a city because I don't want to dox you. But where you based out of?
I'm in Texas.
I'm moving to Houston. Let's get together.
Oh shit!
Darling,
the power's like not working over there.
Wait, you telling me? Hey, Jeremy. Wait, hold up. Everybody mute.
I was talking all this pro-black shit and they were like that. Wow.
I said I did before. I don't currently. That's what I said. I don't currently date women.
Leo, bro, she was a hypocrite earlier. You're surprised of her.
1 second, Leo.
You're surprised.
Leo, 1 second, brother.
You've seen her like 4 times.
Leo, bro, 1 second. Shut the fuck up. Who is this dude? Hey, Leo. Check it out.
I know you're not talking to me.
Oh, you know, my bad. Let me clarify. I am talking to your bitch ass. Now what? Fuck you talking about? You know I ain't talking to you. Don't stick your little weak ass chest out, boy. Motherfucker try to stick his chest out on Claude. No, you ain't talking to me.
I got your IP address. Don't worry about it. We're gonna play some games now.
Okay, yeah, that's what they got to do.
Yeah. Shut your bitch ass up, faggot. Shut your bitch ass up, bro, boy. Pussy.
Kick him out of the room.
Bye. Panic and stutter, pussy. Stutter and Stanley, panic.
Bye.
Hold on.
Get him, Jeremy.
Said you really had your IP.
Yeah, get him, Jeremy.
I want to see if you really had your IP. That would be crazy.
Can we get back to Miss Leo, please?
I want to get back to JB and the lady Leo having a conversation.
Yeah, that's positive. Let's go to positive
Can I
direction.
just get a recap real quick of what y'all talking about before y'all get back to the bullshit?
Well, I'm trying to shoot my shot with Miss Leo, but everybody keeps interrupting.
No, I feel that. I ain't not.
You go ahead and do it. Miss Cleo, call me now, darling. There we go.
Her name is Leo.
Yeah, I'm not the
thought it was
other
Miss
black
Cleo.
woman. I'm not the other black woman. I'm Leo, nigga.
Okay. Oh, you sound so classy though. You're
That's
classy
fine.
chick.
I don't need to be classy to you. I'm not attracted to you, and I don't need you to be attracted to me. I'm who I am. And I'm my tribe, baby.
I like your pink hair.
I always like
got that.
Yeah. So what's up?
No, I like your pink hair.
It's not pink.
Extreme. What do you do for work? Just curious.
Oh my God, bro.
What's your job?
Okay, Jeremy, you can't. Okay.
I just want to know what she does for work.
I know, but Jeremy. No, Leo.
Yo, JB, let Clayvon talk, man. He ain't even get a chance to speak yet.
Go ahead, Kayvon.
Yeah, I've been sitting here for like an hour listening.
Go ahead.
Right. I just want to know, about the title. Like, who feels this way? Did any new information come out? Is this your opinion? I want to know that.
Clayvon, it's my room. I did the title. It's just my opinion.
Okay.
I think he's gonna walk.
Me too.
And I think you should walk.
Me too.
Okay. No, I mean, is it any new information that gave you that feeling?
Nope. Just the facts that everybody else knows. And
okay.
I believe in self-defense. If you put your hands on me, I'm putting my hands back on you.
Nah, I fuck with that. Okay. Now that was it. I can get back
And
to it. I
also,
appreciate
wasn't it a knife? Was it a knife or was it a cleat sharpener? So that's big. If it wasn't a knife, then they can't prove that he brought a weapon to intentionally harm anyone. That's going to help his case. He was very much smaller than this dude, and it was two of them who approached him. One attacked him. That's going to help him. So it's a lot of, and then he was told that he could be up under that tent because it was raining. So it's a lot of things that are going, and especially them lowering his bond in the first place. It gives a lot of, it shows that they're going to be a little bit more lenient on this case than was first perceived.
Well, Miss Leo, look, let me just say this. Give me a chance, guys. Everybody, and I'm not saying you, ma'am. I'm just saying since I opened this room and the other rooms I've been in talking about this case, because it's a very polarizing case. Everybody wants to talk about the facts of law, but the law in Texas is this, and the law in Texas. Listen, what people don't throw into the facts of law is the human emotions that are going to go through that jury. And if any of those people on that jury are parents, that boy's going to walk as he should. Common sense is, excuse my language, I'm not cursing at anybody, but I don't give a fuck. You put your hands on somebody, there's consequences to that. Now, it's a tragedy this young man died, but he shouldn't have stepped to it. It was none of his fucking business. He's on school grounds. Let the school authority, let the teachers, let the security deal with that. Just my opinion. Yeah, Tip.
Yeah, so, at this point, you have people that have the same position in every room where JB have had experience as a New York City resident, going through the trials and tribulations.
Tip, you're a little low, my friend.
Oh, it's a little low?
Yeah, you're a little muffled. You probably need to put your mouth by the mic because we can't make out your word.
You want to try again, sir?
How about now?
Yeah.
Better?
That's much better. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, so my boy JV, he from my city, and he been through the trials and tribulations, deal with the judicial system to see how as inadequate as it is, and railroads people, white, black, and different, mostly black, but some of our Italian brothers, we've been through this shit. We see how inadequate, inaccurate it is, and it's not fair. So we're looking at this thing. It's not to create a racial dynamic. It's to say a bunch of people jumping out the window to make sure this young man gets the full brunt of the judicial system. It's hold on. No, you're not about to do that. You're not about to create public opinion, because without you doing that, he still has to deal with this fucking inept judiciary. It's going to happen. We know that. So we should speak our minds, because y'all speaking y'all fucking minds. And it's interesting, these people that run these same rooms, we've been watching y'all for at least the last 2-3 years. Y'all been saying the same fucking shit. Y'all stand against anything that stops black suffering. Like, it's like I got a morbid curiosity.
Not everybody, my friend.
Not everybody. Not everybody. I mean, some people, but you know, it's kind of concerning though, because it's like, goddamn, like what you stand for? You stand for manhood? Y'all stand for Americanism, or y'all just stand for harm? Y'all just want to see people get harmed? Like, this is weird. So yeah, if y'all jump out the window, we jumping out the window. That's how that works. Because y'all not dealing with income inequality and mass incarceration and stop and frisk. Like, y'all not dealing with none of that. Y'all making stuff up. That's not really a thing. So if you gonna jump out the window, we jumping out the window. That's how that works. Y'all wanna make it some type of weird America where patriots ain't patriots and it's just like about white supremacy, and do that. We gonna jump out the window too. That's how that works.
Let me just Clayvon, hold on. Clayvon, hold on 1 second, sir, and I'll get right to you, I promise. Tip, I'm gonna say something that might be polarizing and most people might disagree. But I truly believe this. You know, when we get into these spaces, whether it's my space, it could be Lou Fax's space, anybody's space, debate the news, I don't care what space it is. People love to blame the media. I'm not blaming the media. I'm blaming us. I'm blaming people that use social media, use audio media, that spew the lies and the rhetoric, people who jump to conclusions without the facts. This is all of us. We're all guilty of this, Tip, and this is why there's so much division in this country. Because we don't have the conversations and we don't hear each other. We listen. Wait, let me. Tip, hold on. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it is, my friend. But the problem is, we talk to listen instead of talking to hear. Let's hear each other. Listen, you and I don't.
We've been listening, but they trying to make a case. That man said intent. He's not a litigator. They're trying to make a case through public opinion to make sure that young man suffers. What is his investment in that? His people's not fucking get railroaded in these prisons. That's not him. Why is he so invested in that? I feel like if he had an issue with the sun and he had skin cancer, he like, yo, Tip Top, like the sun is burning me down. I won't say nothing. I'll be like, oh, my bad, bro. Is the sun burning you down? I don't know. If I tell him, yo, we being railroaded in these prisons, bro, can you take a time and just relax, bro? Because you're trying to make a case for me to get harmed. I don't want you to get harmed. Why you want me to get harmed? Are you really an American? What are you? Are you a predator?
Tip, let me ask you a question.
Y'all bring up Sweet real quick. That's all I wanted to ask.
I got Sweet raises there. I can't bring Sweet up because I moved them down so many times.
You feel what I'm saying, OJB? Like,
yes.
We get jammed up out here. They're like, y'all gonna come out of nowhere and say, hey, this should happen. We already got metrics that look bad for us. I'm not talking about what's harmful for you. I don't know. Y'all divorcing y'all women at a crazy metric. Y'all getting a lot of whatever rape or whatever y'all got going on. I don't know. That's none of my business. I won't say nothing about that. Y'all figure it out. When I talk about young men being jailed, I feel like you should stop and chill the fuck out. Don't do that.
Tip Top, let me ask you a question. You don't have to even mute up, man. How many rooms have I run about the school prison pipeline and how it's unfair to the black community?
Nah, because you from the neighborhood. Like, you different. I'm talking about these other dudes. They come out, they jump out the window.
I can't speak for them, though.
Right. No, I'm not asking you to. What I'm saying, every time we had this conversation, they jump out the window. I'm like, yeah, well, he should not have had a knife. He should not look that aggressive. Like, bro, you don't. This is not your problem. Like, why are you making that your problem? Are you scared? Like, I don't deal with other people's problems. If you say you have a problem, all I'm gonna do is say, yo, bro, I hope you can find some safety.
Hey,
right? I don't know what's going on with you.
Tip Top, let me tell you something, and I want you to hear what I'm saying to you right now. You're right. The white community is afraid of the black community.
Why?
I don't know, because they're insecure. I can't speak for all white people. I can only speak for this white person. But I'm telling you what goes on. They don't want to see you succeed. And that's a fact. I believe that 100%.
Old school.
Listen, I can't speak for them. I can speak for me from what I see, my lived experience.
You've been behind the walls with us, so you know what's going on.
I understand. So. And let me tell you something. Being behind the walls, I learned more about the black community than I ever learned on the streets. And that's the truth, and that's a sad statement. But the white community will never help. And
half of them came from Italy and They came
White
from
people
Ireland,
hate competition. That's
fucking
what it is.
Irish, and all kind of Jewish. Like, why are they so invested in what we got going on?
Why do you think? And let's keep it real. Why do you think the white community tries to steal black culture? Why is that?
They opportunists, like they haven't even been here for 100 years.
Because they have no culture.
Why they going crazy? Why they going
It's just the white community that does it. It's the Asian community. It's other communities.
But JB's white.
Hold on, sis. Let me finish. It's not just them. And also, we see when you said media, JB, I want to say, when this first came out, I was in Norm's room, El Normo, and the title of the room was Black person or black stabs white teen, kills white teen. And I just thought it was just the way it was framed. And even in the room before any details, anything fully factual came out, it was just a monkey house up in there. And this kid, and I said, wait a minute, we don't have all the facts. People are in such a rush to judgment based off the color of someone's skin and what the media has narrated it to come out initially without all the details. We have to be very careful and mindful of this thing. I yield.
JB, I want to ask you. You asked the question, why do we think that black white culture loves to steal black culture? Can you tell us why, in your opinion?
You know what? For me, it's well, first off, I'm a Biggie fan, and I think he's the best rapper ever. You guys can debate Tupac all you want. I don't care.
Hey, JB, look, we cool.
See, I know it's gonna trigger somebody. I think because it's been systemic for so long, Leo, that's all they know how to do. It's the truth. Listen, when people say Jews own the media, that's a lie. It's not Jews. White people own the media. That's a fact. It's not the Jews. It's the white people. They will, and they're going to try to hold you. Because why would a community that's been in power for so long empower another community? That's just. But you know, I try to look at it differently. It's not the Jews, my friends. It's corporations. Okay. Hold on. Let me finish. Okay. It's the corporation. Put something in the chat. Okay, put it in the chat all you want. If it's a corporation, if it's a public entity, you could buy stock in it. So, but you know, listen. The truth is this. Every time I hold a race room or a racial room, it always gets really toxic really fast. And I don't understand why we just can't have the... Listen, I'd rather run a room with Mr. Malcolm over here, a business room, and learn how to make money, and then we're all going to be equal. That's how I feel. Money's power. I don't care what anybody says. I'd rather make that cheddar. The only color I want to see is green. But, you know, I've told this story before, and I'll say it one last time. My best friend in this whole world, his name is Larry Robinson, did 24 years for a murder he didn't commit. That man taught me more about integrity and honor than anybody else. I didn't see him as a black man. I just saw him as Larry, the best dude I ever met in my life that I would legitimately take a bullet for. So for me, I you know, like I said, I can't speak for all white people. That's a difficult box to stand on. But is the white community threatened by the black community? Yes. It's been going on for hundreds of years. You know, listen, I may bang with Sweet, but I still have respect for them. I want to learn from, teach me. That's why I wasn't being disingenuous when I said, what are your plight in America? I don't know if I can help you. Maybe I could. Maybe I can. Maybe you can help me. But this screaming and, you know, labeling everybody. Listen, blacks are not a monolith and neither are whites. We all have our own minds. You know what this world lacks? Critical thinking. Take a step back out of your emotions and think about the situation. It's really the truth. The mic, we're going to get it, Clavon.
So what? You know, I appreciate, you know, you saying that, man, because a lot of people don't understand. Like, I tell them all the time, pro-black, but that don't mean I'm anti-white. You know what I'm saying? I'm pro-black, that don't mean I'm anti-nobody. You know, I don't fuck with those that don't fuck with me. There's actually a white lady that I admire a lot. Her name Jane Elliott. I've been watching her since I was a kid. I was just always blown away and wondered if it was a gimmick that she did, but she just never let up. And then, you know, as I got older, really researched her story and just, you know, really got into the fact that she just understands things and is okay with saying it. You know what I'm saying? You know, so even like yourself, you know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of courage, and I respect it and I admire it to, you know, just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Because you are on the tricky side of the fence when it comes to this shit. based on history, based on, the shit that still goes on today, that do put you in a tricky ass box. You know what I'm saying? To be like, hey man, look, I know what the fuck is going on. I'm not gonna be blind to that shit, and I'm not gonna pretend like the shit is cool. You dig what I'm saying? And one thing I've learned about history and about society is that, all white people or all anything are not all evil. You know what I'm saying? All cultures of people got good, bad, and ugly. You know what I'm saying? And then just, you got to run into those ones that's, who they are. You dig what I'm saying? Because even in the time of slavery, I had learned as I got older that a lot of white people was involved with helping slaves get away. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, that was, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it still doesn't take away what happened. And then it's like new perceptions is getting put into my, my mind and stuff like that about, it being a slavery. And it wasn't even from just Kanye West statement, you feel what I'm saying? But when he said it, it kind of reassured me about something that I had already felt. He just said it out loud, and because he's a celebrity, you know what I'm saying? Of course, it spread it way bigger. You know what I'm saying? But when he said,
Clavon, don't even mute up. Let me just say this to you, and I say this respectfully. You know what? You're an influencer too, because you can come into a room and say something that changes somebody's life, and you don't even know that. Okay?
Facts. No, that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? So when I thought about it, you know what I'm saying, it's crazy because somebody in the chat name is Nat Turner, which is funny. That's one of my favorite heroes. You dig what I'm saying? Nat Turner kicked it off, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like I said a racial thing. To me, it was more like this is the time in life and was at, and because of the culture difference, it made it racial. But you know what I mean? It could have been any fucking body. I'm not a slave to nothing. You know what I'm saying? Whites, blacks, Asians, I don't give a fuck. Ain't no, boxing me and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, Nat Turner, after he kicked it off, I felt like everything after that was a choice. That was just my own perception. I just had never said it out loud. And then Kanye West said some shit. I'm like, damn, I understood what he said, but he might have just said it the wrong way. He should have said the continuance of slavery versus just slavery was a choice. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, that's how I felt. Everything after that, once he said the blueprint, this is what the fuck y'all need to do, it should have continued. You dig what I'm saying? And that's why I don't think the Most High made me in that time, because I would have rebelled. You know what I'm saying? So, I do find it unique that, men, you know what I'm saying, you can find a common foundation with each other, sadly, in incarceration. Because then is when you're looking at, damn, this motherfucker in the same place that I'm in. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the crime is the crime. But, we both in this motherfucker. You dig what I'm saying? And, certain things are going to be different, based on our connections. But nevertheless, you in this box with me, serving your time like I'm serving my time. So, I can always respect the man for who he is, because I'm a humanitarian, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still not going to be blind to the shit that's going on in reality. I don't knock people when they say racism is an illusion, but I understand why some people may say that shit. It's a hard thing to try to block out your mind and try to see people as human beings. You feel what I'm saying? So, I just respect you though, JB. I remember the first time conversing with you about mid last year, sometime we conversed a little bit. You told me a little about your story, and I haven't had a chance to talk to you since then. So to see you holding this room, I was really curious. I'm like, damn, is this clickbait, or you know what I'm saying? Is this how you feel? You dig what I'm saying? So I was just curious from that standpoint.
Thank you, Clavon. Let me just say this. I try not to judge anybody, right? Because all of us have different lived experiences. I could be in a car accident with somebody, and in the same car, we have different experiences, different memories, different traumas from that. But I will judge a person when they're at their lowest. And when you're incarcerated, you're at your lowest, right? So I noticed that when I was incarcerated, and this is a fact, my lived experience, the white people were the scumbags. And the only ones that embraced me, Clavon fed me when I had nothing, put underwear on my ass when I had nothing, were my black friends. They never judged me. They embraced me. They just saw me as a man. They gave me a different perspective on the world, different insight I didn't have before incarceration. So for me, I just want to have the conversation so I can learn and understand, and maybe I can help. Let me tell you something. There's hold on, sweet.
I'd like to ask you a question when you get done.
Yeah, I'm almost done. I promise. I'm almost done. I promise. There's a gentleman on this app that's very polarizing, right? Especially to the white community. They're afraid of this dude. I love him. Matter of fact, he'd be one of the first 5 people I'd want to meet off this app. His name is Speak Gregory. I don't know if anybody knows Speak Gregory. Speak Gregory. We don't agree on anything, but we respect each other. That's the man I would learn from, and maybe I could teach him as well. Okay, sweet.
Yeah. I'm glad you're in here, Clavon. I wish
can I jump in?
Hold on, man. hold on. Let me say this. You've been in the pen, okay? You know there's some loyalty type situations in the pen, ain't that right?
100%.
100%, right? Right. You ever seen some cats in the pen that ratted somebody out or they wasn't true to who they supposed to be true to? You ever seen that go down?
Well, those people get moved out fast, but yeah.
No, I'm just wondering if you've ever seen that, man, like somebody that turns on their people. Have you ever seen that?
Of course.
Oh, yeah, it's not a pretty sight, is it?
No.
Yeah, see, this is why I'm glad Clavon up in here, and I'm glad, because, this idea, see, as much as you've seen black folks come to your aid, and that's, that you got some testimonies that that's what black folks do. That's the way we get down. And that's the way it is, you know what I'm saying? There's a definite code, and so you understand that, and so you appreciate and understand, I'm sure, those black individuals. You've seen some black folks that will sell out black folks. You ever seen that before?
I've never seen black folks sell out black folks.
You never seen black folks
no,
sell out no black folks?
I'm not saying it doesn't happen, sweet. I've never seen that. So white people sell out.
I don't know. It's not no right or wrong answer. I'm just asking you, man, about, but you've seen like maybe the Mexican mafia, or you might have seen like the Italian mafia, or you might know some cats that really go hard for whatever they true to, right? You probably seen some people that really about loving their family and what they really with. Is that right? You probably seen that.
Well, sweet, to me, loyalty's not a word. It's a lifestyle. Either you're loyal
No, I'm just saying. I'm not. I don't want you to get defrayed from. I'm just trying to be real clear about what I'm saying about a person that say you rolling with the Italian mafia or something. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you true to, and that's what you about. That's something that's pretty serious. Ain't that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm just saying, so you understand that. So as a black person, and of course you'll never be black, right?
I don't want to be black.
No, I didn't say you want to be black. I said you ain't never gonna change your melanin to add more layers and layers of melanin to where you're considered a black person. Is that right?
That's right.
Right. So, but you can see, some other black folks that they got melanin in them, and they might try to act like they don't really understand what it is to be black, and they start talking like black folks ain't up against something out here. You might have seen that. Whether you black or not is not the point of what I'm trying to drive a point on. What I'm saying is, whether you understand it or not, I got enough sense to understand I ain't never going to be Jewish. That ain't never going to be a part of my storyline, ever. And so I'm not going to sit here and try to represent and act like they supposed to act some kind of way, or that ain't my lane. You see what I'm saying? That's not something I can speak on. That's their thing, looking out for whatever they're looking out for. But what I'm saying is this, man. Whenever you hear some black folks, man, talking in their tone and in their way against black folks, man, just know that what you talking about with the pen and all that other stuff, man, because, again, black folks is up against something, man. You know what I'm saying? And so I just wanted you to just hear your thoughts about these individuals, man, in any walk of life, that all of a sudden, they start talking against their very group that they a part of, whether they like to be a part of their group or not.
30 seconds.
You see what I'm saying? I just wanted to just put that out there on the table.
Yeah, let me put this out on the table though. My boy JB been consistent, right? So although you say you're saying the same thing twice, there are black people that they aren't even engaged in what we talking about. So yeah, JB, talk your shit, my nigga. I don't give a fuck what's going on. It is what it is, man. We neighborhoods, we tribes. We not LA, we not New York, we not the South. Everybody different. So, man, we having this conversation. It is what it is. So stop that. Don't tell that man to quiet his voice. Talk your shit, JB. No, I'm just saying in general, man. Listen, man. That man can talk his shit. He'll talk. Man, let that man talk his shit, man.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Everybody talk your shit. I ain't saying nothing else.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. And let me just jump in here. Thank you, sweet. Thank you, Tip. So everybody heard what I said 5 minutes ago, right? Me and Clavon was having a conversation, and I get a lot of smoke. No, not a lot, but enough smoke from the white community. Why are you saying that? I'm like, because that's how I feel. Just because you fucking narrow-minded and you don't have the same lived experience as me, why should I keep my mouth shut? If there's an injustice, I'm going to speak on it. And the truth is this. Sweet, I totally 1,000,000% believe systemic racism is not only around, it's even stronger now than it's ever been.
Yes, sir.
My only point was that black folks that be talking shit against other black folks, man. That's all I'm talking
I get it. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about
the people not understanding what it is to be black.
You're talking about the exchange you had with Anthony earlier. I get it.
Well, hell to the yeah. I'm just letting you know. And I'm just telling you, man. So you know what I'm saying? Like when Jewish people deal with Jewish people, I don't get involved in that shit. You know what I'm saying? When some Italians dealing with some Italians and how they want to correct themselves and whatever they do, that ain't my business, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just telling you, bro, that how a black person views another black person, just understand that that's a real thing, man. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's regional too, man. Nobody gonna tell no LA person how to deal with what y'all got going on over there. So don't tell us about what we got
LA. I'm talking about black, bro. I'm not talking about LA.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't that though. It ain't that though. It's not what's going on.
Guys, let me jump in here.
What are you saying?
Sweet. Hold on, man. Okay, hold on a second, guys, please. That's not good. That's not
talking about, man.
All right, so give Tip a chance to explain. He from my neighborhood. What?
Okay, well let me OG Sweet. Let me speak for you because I can see what
guys. All right. He bringing up LA.
Yeah, I know.
I heard what you said, but he from my neighborhood.
Okay, and that's
don't do that.
And this my
neighborhood. You be black, but don't do that.
Right.
He's talking right. He got a good title. Don't do that.
Yes.
I don't see nobody from LA, no Mexican, got no title up. So what?
Nothing to do with JB.
Got everything to do with it. Don't do that.
Nothing to do with JB.
All right, so we ain't got to fight. We keep what we got going on. We got something else going on.
Nothing to do with JB.
I got you. Okay, guys, we got to move on.
Let me holler at him. Tip.
I got you, Clayvon. Give me a second, Clayvon.
Okay.
Clayvon, give me 1 second, because after I go to you, I want to get, I'm going to butcher this name, and I apologize. Abrahadabra is going to go after you. And then I'm going to go to Samoa. Okay, Clayvon, I got you.
Yeah, so no, Tip, I think you kind of misreading what Sweet's saying. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he's saying, like, if you black, Tip, and me and you having a disagreement about something, I wasn't here. I'm just assuming this is what I'm hearing from y'all dialogue right now in this real moment. He's asking for me and you to let me and you deal with that. You feel what I'm saying? If we need, like, let's take JB about it, let's take, you know what I'm saying?
Don't force me to do nothing.
But that's respectful.
Going on.
Hold on.
I'm being too aggressive. Don't do that.
Okay, but that wasn't aggressive at all.
I didn't ask you to tell me what I am. I said okay, the title. That's it.
Chip, what I'm saying is this: if you ever
understand what he is, I got something else going on,
brother. You being combative for no reason at all. Right? What I'm saying is this. This is
why you I don't like that. Don't tell me
again.
Don't do that.
But that's what you're being, bro. Because you're either misunderstanding. You're either misunderstanding or you're being combative.
Guys,
okay,
please.
You can't hear me what I'm talking about.
Don't tell me what the fuck I'm doing, bro.
Yeah, niggas.
All right, hold on a second. Tip, let Cleavon land. I'll go to you, then I'm going to go to Abrahadabra and Samoa.
Exactly, bro, because, like, you're not trying to receive what's being said. You feel me? If you haven't been incarcerated, then I understand, brother, because that's why he brought up the analogy of being incarcerated. Because in incarceration, we follow under certain guidelines and rules when we dealing with our people. That's why that analogy was brought up. And in that analogy, this is what I'm saying. If we was two black men dealing with each other in a pen, can't no other culture, Hispanic, whites, Asians, can't nobody get involved with what we got going on. That'll kick some shit off. So what he's asking, since he understands, JB understands how it goes, you know what I'm saying? Even on Clubhouse, because we still these men, we're not robots on this app. I'm not here to play no games or play an avatar. I'm me. You dig what I'm saying? That's why my name is Clayvon. My name is Clayvon in real life. No, but that's how we conduct ourselves.
That's what you want.
I'm not listening. Tip, I'm not gonna disrespect you on that.
To be what you want.
I'm not. But if you don't understand, brother, that's what I'm saying. You might want to eject yourself from the conversation. You understand what I'm saying? Because you don't know what me, JB, and Sweet talking about. So if you don't understand, bro, just eject yourself from the conversation is all I'm asking. I'm not telling you nothing, bro.
Let me jump in here real quick. So what had happened earlier was there was an engagement between Sweet and somebody else.
It was Anthony Edwards. There wasn't no somebody else. It was Anthony Edwards.
Okay. See,
I like the facts, man. I like the facts, JB. Okay. Right there. I like the truth.
But I've asked you a million times to please not interrupt when I'm speaking.
Don't create a vagueness when we know the specifics,
because the man's not here to defend himself.
Don't worry about it. It's still the truth, man.
Okay, you know what? You're gonna stay in the audience, bro. I can't. See, this is disrespect. He wants respect, but he doesn't want to give respect. That's the problem I have. I have no problems with anything he says. I don't take anything personal, but when you interrupt me constantly, you have no respect for me or my space. I don't play like that. I don't disrespect anybody else like that. So I'm gonna move on. Tip, I appreciate you. Cleon, I appreciate you. Abrahadabra, how you doing, man? Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to come on your stage. But I will say this, when I hear people say that white America is not a monolith, I often say that for Black America, in the historical context of this country, white people have been a monolith when it comes to how and what and the and what has come out of white America. They have been a monolith. How they treat Black people has typically been a monolith. Even when they were showing some form of altruism, they were a monolith in their view of Black people being non-human. And so the history of this country, white Americans have often seen and viewed collectively Black people as non-human. I mean, during the 1800s, around 1840, 1850, there were actual research being done, and they found that 90% of white Americans believe that Black people should be and remain in slavery. And that was across religions. That was Christianity, Judaism. Still, white Americans believe that Black people should remain enslaved. So, white people aren't a monolith maybe to them in terms of the diversity and complexity that they see in themselves. But for Black American history in this country, certainly white America has been more than a monolith. They've been very unified in how they see us and how they racialize us.
Thank you. Hey, hold on, DJ, hold on, because Samoa's been patiently waiting. You're gonna go after him, okay, sir? Samoa, man, long time no speak.
What's up, bro? Long time no see. I just seen your room title. It ain't looking good for Carmelo, man.
Bro, he's walking, but yeah.
The only way he's walking is if you got the jury, you got a lot of pressure on him. But if you're just looking at it in like a legal framework, yeah, this dude's toast. Unless there's something else. So I was watching the interview with the minister, and the minister was talking about how they were being respectful about the dignified references to Austin Metcalf, and that they have not with what they've been told. So I'm hoping that there's a narrative there for him. Maybe something like there was 4 of them. There's Austin Metcalf with Carmelo. Then there's like 3 dudes behind or something like that, where he created this idea because he's on top of the bleachers, right? To create this idea that he was being kind of caged in. But when you're looking at all the drops as far as the affidavits, the independent witnesses, the Hunter, Metcalf, all these interviews, it doesn't look good for him, bro. So if you could offer why you believe he's walking, if it's not anything within like the legal framework, then I guess we can agree there, because that'd be the only way that he does walk.
Well, then I guess we're going to agree, sir. First off, happy Easter. Second off,
happy Easter, brother.
I think he's going to walk because everybody wants to talk about the legal system, the legal mechanisms, but nobody wants to talk about the human emotion part that plays with that jury. And if that defense team comes up and pulls on those heartstrings, that young man's going to walk. And Samoa, you know what? In my opinion, he should walk. Self-defense. Listen, I don't care about that stand your ground and this and that. Common sense has to play in somewhere. When two kids surround another kid, I don't care if he's white, black, or purple, pink polka dots, and they put their hands on him, the boy has every right to defend himself.
Yeah, but there's no 2 kids there.
Well, can I jump in? You just spoke. Can I just jump in?
Damn, hold on, bro. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Because you're offering your individual opinion, your public opinion about what you think he's not going to walk. So you have implicit bias. And for some reason, you feel like he's not going to walk. We have precedent where similar things have happened. So we're watching all of you people that feel like a person that has the same environment, the same circumstances that other people had, that somehow it's not going to work. So yeah, this is a disconnect between Americans and it is what it is, bro. Y'all stand on y'all shit, we stand on our shit.
Yeah, but one of us is educated about it.
Brother, you wanna like impose your will on people? Do you wanna hear other people talk? What are you doing? Like you have implicit bias. That man did what other people did. We have precedent. We had the Penny case. We had the Rittenhouse case. We have all them things.
somehow y'all have some type of weird logic that it is not the same thing. So you watching us, we watching you. So you like young black people to be harmed, right? That's what's going on. Just say it. Stop pussyfooting. Stop playing like you don't give a fuck. No, you want to propagate white supremacy. Just do that. Stop being scared, bro.
Respectfully, I don't think Samoa is white.
Let me respond to him real quick.
Doesn't matter. He's anti-black.
Yeah, sounds good. So notice how you talk about things that have nothing to do with the actual case. I'm talking about the actual case with the actual independent witnesses, the 30 independent witnesses, the statements that we're being made.
Bro, you don't have the case reading, bro.
Hold on, bro. Hey, bro, you trying to push her? Bro, what are you doing right now, bro? Chill out, bro. So when you say a person has implicit bias, that's a pretty strong claim. You don't got the foundation to provide one of those types of accusations. I'm pointing out what we do know.
Neither do you. And what we do
let him
know
talk.
is the case looks excellent.
Let him talk.
Okay.
Let him talk.
So
bro.
we know that there's
recovery.
30.
Let's hit a recovery. Let's hear it.
So we know there's 30 independent witnesses that were corroborated in the statements that we have so far. What we do know is that after he addressed the Hunter guy stayed lower and the Austin guy went up. So we do know that when he engaged with him and he asked him to get from underneath the tent, Carmelo reached into his bag and said, "Put your hands on me, you're going to see what happens." We know that he touched him and he didn't do nothing. He said something else. He said, "Punch me and you'll see what happens."
Let that man talk.
Okay,
Let that man talk. Let him lie. Let that man lie.
He don't know what's going on.
Let that man lie.
Yeah, hold on, bro. So then after he touched him, right? Then he said, "Punch me and you'll see what happens." So then he grabbed him to move him and he stuck him and he ran. After he ran, he dipped the knife into the bleachers. Then the police went up to him. Then the police put him in custody and said, "Hey, I'm the alleged suspect." He said, "No, I'm not alleged. I did it." Then he
read all that shit, bro. That's the media, bro. You ain't got no recovery. You're not any
That's not the media.
You're doing conjecture, bro. You're not that media. 5 seconds, brother. You ain't read no grand jury testimony. You read no recovery, brother.
All right, guys, hold on. Tip, let him land, please, and then you can rebut him. Get Samoa. Samoa?
Yo, so he said that that's media. You can get the court documents yourself. These are the affidavits and the police reports. Then you can watch the actual testimonies or the statements that were made by the mother, the father of Austin, and the brother. Then you can watch the minister. Then you can watch the mother, and you can paste it all together. That's all we have, bro. And if you don't know that and you think that you got to listen to it just through some sort of a filter, that's on you, bro. I'm talking about what we do have.
Hey, some more.
Wait, you got it from where?
Yes,
you got
sir.
it from grand jury testimony? You got it from recovery? Where you got it from?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Oh, from media. Where you got it from?
Some more.
Yes, the courthouse, bro.
Out the brother's mouth, right? Excuse me. Out the brother's mouth.
Man, you put that shit on mute, man.
The one, nah, my bad, Pure. My bad. What I'm saying is this, bro. Out the brother's mouth.
Hunter?
You know the one that's alive? No, the one that's alive.
Yeah, Hunter, right.
You know he's the one that's initiated the whole thing, right?
Yeah, his claim was that when he sat down, Bello said something to him, then he turned around and
I'm gonna walk
addressed
you through it. Stop that. You got that. You know that. You know that the brother initiated, right? I'm gonna tell you nothing. Chill out. I'm gonna tell you what came out of the brother's mouth, right? Yeah. He brought his own case up, so you know he the one that initiated, right? Yeah. Okay, so then he said his brother came over and then spoke to Carmelo. He's the initiator, right? Insinuated that this is not even the first time that he's been in a situation where he created something and his brother came to an aid, even when he was right or wrong. His brother the one that ended up dead because his brother is the one that ended up doing what? Touching him.
So from right there, it tells you that he was being approached and dealt by two men. It don't need to be four. No, that's what the fuck the facts is.
Bro,
what I'm saying,
you did was you took statements from two
no,
interviews and you
nigga, it's from one story. What are you talking about? That's from one interview. No, the fucking bro. How the fuck you gonna tell me what I seen?
Brother said it out his own mouth. What do you want?
I disagree. That man didn't read no recovery. That man didn't read no court documents.
So what I'm saying is this. His brother already admitted. His brother already admitted that he's the one that initiated it, and then my brother came over there and insisted. So that shows that they were both involved. So now he already admitted to a 2-on-1 situation. It don't gotta be 3 or 4 or 5. What the fuck you talking about?
Question though, right? So when you heard the brother talking, right? The brother said, "I didn't see my brother get stabbed. I turned around and he was running down the bleachers."
We got that from the media.
That's from the media. But what I'm saying is, you said that they couldn't prove that there was more than one motherfucker, like they didn't box him in.
Hold on, bro. Is that from the same interview?
We got that from.
Is that from the same interview?
It's too many.
No, the same interview. No, that's you talking from another interview now.
Hold on, bro.
Hold on, where he got this from?
Yeah, so this is the Fox video. The very first one with his mom sitting there crying, right? They were asked, "Did you see your brother get stabbed?" Dude said, "I didn't see my brother get stabbed. I turned around and he was running down the bleachers. I ran to my
Do you think he was
outside of
so
court." All right, listen. I got stabbed twice in the stomach.
Outside of court. That's what you doing?
I didn't see myself get stabbed.
Yeah, why are you so hell up on this court and all this documents? I mean, we're coming from what the interview is. He's not treating everybody's giving their opinion. That's the title. Carmelo will prove him wrong. So now people are bringing their submissions against what the title is. Y'all getting too big by it.
Yeah, I just want to point this out. Yeah, so bro, we watched the interview, bro, the actual live interview, and then the police reports, and then the affidavits of the 30 independent witnesses that corroborated each other's accounts.
You gotta be kidding. You really gotta be kidding.
The lawyer, bro, you want to put the link in the description, bro?
Listen, the lawyer that he.
All right, guys, listen, we need a one mic policy in here. So, Samoa, have you landed? If you landed, I'm gonna go abracadabra.
If I could just get 10 more seconds, bro. Like,
go ahead.
So there's two different interviews the brother gave. The brother said that they're walking around the track when they got underneath the tent, that Carmelo said something to them. Then he turned around and he said something that was reckless to me. He was saying things that are inappropriate. Then Austin went up there, and then there was a 1v1. According to the brother, he's at a different level. Because after his brother got stuck, his brother ran down towards him. So, hey, man, play with it what you will, but you just got to deal with the fact, bro.
Yeah, so everybody that claims to be an expert is hilarious on the social media app, and they know the case better. Listen, the family hired one of the top attorneys in situations like this in the country. The legal team is a very powerful, strong legal team. That lawyer, gentleman, wouldn't have taken the case. He makes a lot of money. He wouldn't have taken this case if he doesn't think it's a strong case for him to win. The idiot representative, spokesperson of the family, revealed that there is a video. When they asked the attorney, he would not confirm, which is smart. He's supposed to do that. He's not supposed to reveal that there's evidence, physical evidence. You don't want to get a jump on for the prosecution in any kind of way of what you may do. So you just say, I don't know anything. Well, we can't divulge that, whatever. So these are great attorneys. We'll see. No one's done any testifying under oath yet. We don't know what the defense has in terms of the witnesses that they're going to bring forth. We don't know what evidence they have to counter the prosecution's or the state's evidence, or what they may bring, or the narrative that they may try to spin. We don't know. We'll have to see. And we won't know until trial begins. So people claiming that they just know it, they just are legal experts and great legal minds, and they know that this kid has no chance, just as stupid and ridiculous. And it will be egging their face if the boy gets off. If he gets off, they'll have some excuse then. And I don't know if he'll get off. We don't know. We'll have to wait until the trial.
So I got a
Amber,
question.
you know, hold on, bro.
I put a link in the chat for you.
Right?
Hold on.
Yes, I put a link in the chat for you, bro.
Guys, hold on. Hold on. So, Samoa, go ahead, then I'm going to go to DJ Smack.
All right, so let me go and make it in the chat.
So hold on.
Hold on, bro.
Yeah, I'm a piggyback off homeboy. Yeah, you came in here like a legal expert, and half the stuff you said was straight up false.
Well, it's right there in the chat. You see that link right there? Like, you find that link. You don't want to do that.
Hold on, bro. and on top of that, I would like to, cause like Anthony is not, he's melanated, but he's not FBA. And I know why he think the way he does. Them type of guys, they just happy to have running water and lights. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Why are you doing that to the white man? You know, they one of them type of guys. Okay? And it's kind of making me question who you are. You understand? Because it's a clear case of self-defense. Like, what's going on with you, Sambo niggas, man? I don't understand it. Like, what's going on? And if you want to talk lawfully, he's clearly in the right. It was 2-on-1. All right, they ain't had no business coming over there messing with him. Like, why we can't understand that? And then when you clarify that, then they talking about, well, why did he have a knife? Because he had a knife. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? Y'all try to move the goalposts. Like, cut it out, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? White supremacy is real. And they instill that into their kids. And that's one of the real reasons why that went down. Like, pay attention to your surroundings, man. Stop playing with yourself. Because that's the only person you're playing with.
I do appreciate you piggybacking on that, right? So you said people sounding like they're legal experts. You don't got to be a legal expert to read that link I just put in the chat right there. So that's what we do know. Here go a question. You got 30 independent witnesses, teachers, staff, coaches, right? They're giving their account. It's memorialized within their statement. By the time they get to trial, do you think that it'd be further away from their account on that day? Or do you think it'd be closer to what their account is on that day?
Okay. I have a question for you, my brother.
Absolutely.
Why did they take everybody's phone? Why are they own? Why we don't know exactly what Mr. Austin said to homeboy? Why we don't know why we don't know those type of details? Yo, hold on. No, we know. No, it's not.
Bro, he said that's not in the link. This tent, bro. He said
that's not in the link. That's not in the no. I'm talking about when the altercation started. That's not in the link, bro. Cut it out. You know what I'm saying? Why we don't know what he said to him? Why we don't know what he said to him? All we know is he said move. I'm pretty sure he said way more shit than that. I mean, where's your critical thinking skills at? Hold on.
The words were, you got to get from underneath this tent. That's what he said. You got to get from underneath this tent.
Yo, you wildin', man. I'm going to mute up. You wildin'. Sometimes you just can't get
move the mic around, bro.
All right, bro, why don't you just read the link?
Hold on, Smo. Hold on. Tip, hold on. Ebony, are you there, Ebony?
Yes, I'm here.
Truth is Light, are you there? Truth is Light. V-Bird, are you there? Ladies? Well, Ebony, I modded these two ladies because I like them both and I trust them both. I gotta get going. Do you want to keep the room open, let you ladies run it?
Come on.
Yeah, we got it.
You gonna let them run the room, bro?
You afraid of a strong black woman?
Yeah.
And Ebony seems fair. Ebony's
cool and she's smart. Tip, you know I'm joking with you, man. But I trust these ladies and I'm gonna let them run it. Everybody have a good night. Be nice to each other. Try. It's free.
Give me my bean. Give me my bean, Dad.
Hey, man. Nice hearing you again, JB.
Samoa, my pleasure. Happy Easter. I'm not minding any men because you guys get in your feelings and start beating each other up. These women will keep it cool. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, give it 5 minutes. The room gonna crash up.
Put yourself through these things and what you said is constant pressure. But you can perceive the level of pressure that you're going through as enough. You're not really in the full ballpark of how you can transform yourself all the time. The moment that some people get any form of transformation, whether big or small, the instant gratification to it is so much that it drains them out.
Appreciate you, Allah. Appreciate you.
I think we have to accept that we're not authentic, and we need to be as close to it. But to say that we are this is, it's just, we are not these words.
Is it all right?
No. It wasn't our creator. Something else put this inside me. I'm so sorry, Father. As long as it's sickling, we're safe. But it grows, and I fear that once it has drained me from my milk, it will want blood.
The 5 enemies with wood from a 100-year-old. The 5.
Wow, I can't believe it.
Right? So, like, if it's messing with people's money, hey, you're messing with my money, man, and you know this. It's smoky. You know, it's all of that. It's like, follow the money. And if you're following them,
Islam is the youngest of all Abrahamic faith, and this is the issue that I have in conversation with a lot of brothers that I would say is more orthodox Islam, because in the Quran it actually tells you to believe on the prophets of old and read the books of old, which is talking about the Torah and the Tanakh. And they do mention Jesus, and they say he was actually a man of God.
Do you believe in the Quran? Do you believe the Quran? You believe the Quran is like the absolute truth?
No, I'm not.
So why don't you quote the Hindu Bible? Like, why don't you quote Hindu texts when promoting Christianity?
I'm not.
Nah,
Oh, that's not common, is it?
it was my great grandmother.
Zeldis is from where? Like Italian, is it? Like, sorry, what
Russia.
Russia. Huh?
You can't tell someone what they experience except from like interviewing them and them telling you what they experience. So this is what the primary source does, and it does get interviews.
And what do you do? Wait, so you know, like the Jesus thing doesn't work for Muslims because they believe in Jesus. Like you learn about Jesus. So
I mean, even so, it's a completely different Christology than what the Quran applies itself.
no. But like, I mean, that's fair. But like,
Now we're
it's
gonna
not
do
as
the
if
whataboutisms and why
it's not as if like it's not as if like this is an alien and then
The 5 enemies.
Then let's get back to it.
But I want to talk about the tariffs. Is that still okay?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, so, someone said recently that Trump is a wrong answer to every right question. And what I think they mean by that is something that I think, which is Trump has raised some very important questions, like why don't the NATO allies play more? What's wrong with the border? Why are there all these people coming across? Those are good questions. And I will give the guy credit. He has really clamped down on the border, which I've always been a border hawk. But I don't think that they ought to be snatching people out of their homes. But let me get to the tariffs. Because, again, is Trump right directionally in terms of getting more manufacturing back in the U.S. and, has China been screwing us? Yes. I mean, years ago, I took about 5 or 6 business trips over there. So, I'm by no means a China expert, not even close. But I do have a little bit of understanding about what they were doing.
Not my strong
The
suit.
problem is, what do you do on day 2? I mean, Trump has erected this huge wall of tariffs. Which, you can say, okay, well, that's good. But the problem is, what do you do next day? Because we don't have the infrastructure, we don't have the supply chains, we don't have, the capital to build factories, and we can't do it every day anyway. So, again, the problem with Trump that I see is he's shooting from the hip. And tariffs are a great example of that. And again, I'm not against tariffs, I'm not. But this is an example where the guy just goes off and starts doing stuff, and it hasn't been thought through. It's not really strategic. And, I think it could be very bad for us. And just where I landed here a moment ago is I think that we were very close. If you listen to many people on Wall Street, and the guy who was talking about Ray Dalio, that guy is not an economist per se. I mean, he knows a ton about the economy, to be sure, but he's an entrepreneur. I think he was a hedge fund guy and made billions. But my point is that you got to have a strategy for the second day. And if you don't, you're going to get in a lot of trouble. And we don't have a strategy for day 2. So that's where I'll.
Why do you think he's shooting from the hip because he put the tariffs on and he took them back? Is that what your basis for concluding that he's shooting from the hip and he doesn't have a strategy? Like, what's the basis for that exactly?
My basis for it is,
yo, what is wrong with your kind that y'all don't?
God, but I never said that they were equal.
How do you? That doesn't make any sense. Like, how do you?
You absolutely right, and let me tell you why it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, hold on. Let her explain. I want to hear that.
Why it doesn't make sense? Because we as human beings will never fulfill.
Bitch ass nigga. Shut up, bitch. I already fucked the hoe. Shut up. Get outside, ho. Young hoe. Get outside. You supposed to be outside, bitch. Why you on Clubhouse, bitch? You supposed to be outside. Living your life, bitch. You ain't got your life together, bitch. You live with your fucking mama, bitch. You live with your fucking mama, you rusty bitch. Shut up, bitch. Show me your lease. Let's get on live right now. Let's see how you living, bitch. You live in a roach-infested apartment, bitch. Shut your...
Me when I hear people who say that they serve the God I serve, but then they put limitations because my God ain't got no limit.
Right, but you saying you don't understand them though. You saying
no, you don't understand.
And all we did was label what we would be. So if you got 4 sticks, all we said, instead of carrying 4 sticks around, let me just use this number to represent these 4 sticks, which is 4. So that's all we did.
Next month on the 23rd, I will come to Nashville. Nashville, Tennessee.
Inside.
Would they be telling you they're in touch with the king?
What's that? You talked to me?
Yeah, I was saying, like, it's almost like
amazing. He knows what it is.
Camera. Stand your ground.
You've done it. Congratulations.
Maintain trips to the surface the past 24 hours, all unauthorized. Why do you need so many all of a sudden?
My research is intensified. Don't worry, they're perfectly secure.
You're supposed to be domesticating them.
Sometimes aggression has its uses.
What could you possibly need these things for?
Put her on the screen. Good girl.
Can you tell me how old you are?
I'm 34. I was born in 1975.
Would you mind looking at your hands? There's a mirror in front of you.
No,
What year is this?
2009. I'm 34. I was born February 9th, 1975.
It must be your birthday.
I'm 34. I've got to wake up. I've got to wake up.
Can you tell me how old you are?
I'm 34. I was born in 1975.
Would you mind looking at your hands?
I've had these dental implants.
Tim, you listen to me.
Hey! Until you stop trying to kill me, I'm in control, buddy, of this whole chemical situation you got going on here.
Tim, you listen to me.
Your name as an...
You want me to fight the chicken?
Chicken jockey!
Want to try Ozempic?
You know what makes me feel pain? When us small content creators put so much work into our videos and trying to make them so entertaining, we get a minimum of 300 views, and then like in a maximum of 500. But these girls on TikTok just smile and get 100K. If you guys agree with me, comment down below and...
Thinking about a hair transplant?
Do you have a
a history with having maybe an addictive personality?
No,
like
I don't. So it seems like you're
Well, now, what I want to do is have a mutual brain-picking session. And I'm going to start the ball rolling by saying why I, as a philosopher, am interested in many things that you were all probably interested in professionally.
I think you could have said a lot differently.
A little bit, yeah, he could have. Damn. This is so beautiful, yo. Like, would you rather take like some fat chick from Romania or I don't know, whatever the fuck country, or some dumb blonde bimbo who's supposedly a 10 with fake tits from club any metro city in them?
Where's the option selection for another one? You know what I mean? Like I don't like those options. Those are terrible.
I'm telling you, like Polynesian chicks, Australian, New Zealand chicks are attractive as fuck. Even like Thai, Indonesian, these are like bottom rung on the attractiveness ladder, and they're still like significantly better than American chicks. Guys run away from America to marry women from these bottom rung countries.
You know why that is?
American pussy stinks.
No. Dude, everything's possible after a long, hot, soapy shower. Shut your face. When was the last time you got laid, bro?
It's been a couple months. It's been like 2.5 months now.
So you mean like more like a year?
I mean like 70, like 10 weeks. 10 weeks.
10 weeks? Been 10 weeks since you got laid?
Yeah, more or less.
And where was she from? Where was she from?
Southeast Asia.
And she was in Canada.
She was British. No, she's a British girl. Ethnically Asian.
Okay, I'm having trouble with the word ethnically. What context are you using?
Ethnically meaning her parents.
Okay.
All of mysticism, you can.
So, Lord, did it take a while for this to culminate? Like this? Did it take a while?
It's something that I've always known since I was in pre-K because I went to like Catholic private school. And
okay, all right. So you've been chasing the snow bunnies forever.
Yeah, and then they always knew. They were like, Michael, you're an Oreo. And like,
you not do that voice. Don't do that voice again. That was really just. That was totally weird. I can't.
I'm crying.
I can't understand what that meant. But at the same time, though, I get what you mean. At the same time,
it was always the Italian American girls that I was just always so.
Yeah, he's obsessed with the Italian women. He's like, yes, buongiorno. That's what.
With the blue eyes.
Yeah, with the blue eyes, that's gonna be northern Italy.
Exotic porno.
I don't watch porn. Porn is
the thicker the better.
The thicker the better. So you like a black girl that's light skinned, bro? Okay, that's what Italian women are. They're light skinned black.
Yeah, they're like Bro, Italian women are white. I don't care what you tell me.
Thick as fuck, like black girls. So
you like light skinned black girls? Some of them got some.
But they're kind of like black white girls. I don't know how to explain it.
I just fucking said that, bro. This dude is getting on my nerves. Yeah,
they're not like black white girls, bro. They are who they are. Okay.
Let's PTR. Let's take a moment of silence just to like appreciate it.
Whoa.
Yeah, that ain't.
Basically, what we're going to talk about, I suppose, is the problem of control. as exemplified in the ancient Latin question, quis custodies ipsos, who guards the guards? Now, we know that we're living in an age when there's been an enormous proliferation of techniques for subjecting every kind of natural process outside the human skin and now increasingly inside the human skin to some form of rational control. And as we succeed in doing this, it also becomes apparent that we're failing, that the process becomes of such a high degree of complexity that we begin to feel that we're standing in our own way, that everybody complains. The state of affairs in the modern world, in the technological world, is so complicated that nobody can understand it. Nobody really knows what to do. That, for example, you want to run a small business, and you find you run into such enormous legal hassles that you need so many secretaries to do the paperwork that you can hardly do the business, that you're trying to run a hospital, but that you have to spend so much time making records and writing things down on paper that you don't have much time to practice medicine, that you're trying to run a university, and the requirements, the recording, the endless red tape of the registrar's office and the administration building is such that the actual work of research and teaching is seriously hampered. And so the individual increasingly feels himself obstructed by his own cautiousness. This is basically what it is. Now, to explain myself, first of all, because most of you are strangers to me, I am a philosopher who has for many years been interested in the mutual fructification of Eastern cultures and Western cultures, studying Oriental ideas, not in the spirit of saying to the West, you ought to be converted to Oriental ideas, but in the spirit of saying, you don't understand the basic assumptions of your own culture if your own culture is the only culture you know. Everybody operates on certain basic assumptions, but very few people know what they are. You can say, very often encounter the sort of character who's an American businessman, and he says, well, I'm a practical businessman. I believe in getting results and things done. All this thinking and highfalutin logic and nonsense is of no concern to me. Now, I know that the practical basic assumptions, the metaphysics of that man, can be defined as pragmatism, as a school of philosophy. But it's bad pragmatism because he's never thought it through. And so it's very difficult, you see, to get down to what are your basic assumptions. What do you mean by the good life? What do you mean by consistency? What do you mean by rationality? The only way of finding out what you mean by these things is by contrasting the way you look at something by the way it's looked at in another culture. And therefore we have to find cultures which are in some ways as sophisticated as our own, but as different from our own as possible. And of course, for this purpose, I always thought that the Chinese were optimal, and the Indians, the East Indians. And that by studying the ideas of these people, by studying their life goals, we could become more aware of our own. It's the old principle of triangulation. You don't establish the situation of a particular object unless you observe it from two different points of view and thereby calculate its actual distance from you. So by looking at what we are pleased to call reality, the physical world, from the basic standpoints of different cultures, I think we're in a better position to know where we are than if we only have one single line of sight. And therefore, this has been my interest and my background. And arising out of this, there has come a further question, which I would call the problems of human ecology. How is man to be best related to his environment, especially in circumstances where we are in possession of an extremely powerful technology and have therefore the capacity to change our environment far more than anyone else has ever been able to do so? Are we going to end up not by civilizing the world, but by Los Angelizing it? In other words, are we going to foul our own nest as a result of technology? But all this gets down to the basic question is, really, what are you going to do if you're God? If, in other words, you find yourself in charge of the world through technological powers, and instead of leaving evolution to what we used to call in the 19th century the blind processes of nature, that was begging the question to call them blind. But at any rate, we say we're not going to leave evolution anymore to the blind forces of nature, but now we're going to direct it ourselves, because we are increasingly developing, say, control over genetic systems, control over the nervous system, control over all kinds of systems. Then, simply, what do you want to do with it? But most people don't know what they want, and have never even seriously confronted the question of what they want. You ask a group of students to sit down and write a solid paper of 20 pages on what is your idea of heaven. What would you really like to happen if you could make it happen? And that's the first thing that starts people really thinking, because you soon realize that a lot of the things you think you would want are not things you want at all. Supposing, just for the sake of illustration, you have the power to dream every night any dream you wanted to dream. And you could, of course, arrange for one night of dreams to be 75 years of subjective time, or any number of years of subjective time. What would you do? Well, of course, you'd start out by fulfilling every wish. You would have routs and orgies and all the most magnificent food and sexual partners and everything you could possibly imagine in that direction. When you got tired of that, after several nights, you would switch a bit and you would soon find yourself involved in adventures and contemplating great works of art, fantastic mathematical conceptions. You would soon be rescuing princesses from dragons and all sorts of things like that. And then one night you'd say, now look, tonight what we're going to do is we're going to forget this dream as a dream. We're going to be really shocked. And when you woke up from that one, you'd say, ooh, wasn't that an adventure? Then you would think more and more far-out ways to get involved and let go of control, knowing that you'd always come back to center in the end. But while you were involved in the dream, you wouldn't know you were going to come back to center, be in control. And so eventually you would be dreaming a dream in which you found yourselves all sitting around in this room, listening to me talking, all involved with the particular life problems which you have. And maybe that's what you're doing. But here's the difficulty, you see. The difficulty of control. Are you wise enough to play at being God? And to understand what that question means, we've got to go back to metaphysical assumptions underlying Western common sense. And whether you are a Jew or a Christian or an agnostic or an atheist, you are not uninfluenced by the whole tradition of Western culture, the models of the universe which it has employed, which influence our very language, the structure of our thought, the very constitution of logic, which are going into, say, computers. The Western model of the universe is political and engineering or architectural. It's natural for a child to ask its mother, "How was I made?" It would be inconceivable for a Chinese child to ask, "How was I made?" It might ask, "How was I grown?" or "How did I grow?" but not "How was I made?" as if I were an artifact, something put together, something which is a construct. But all Western thought is based on the idea that the universe is a construct. And even when we got rid of the idea of the constructor, the personal God, we continued to think of the world in terms of a machine, in terms, say, of Newtonian mechanics, and later in terms of what we call quantum mechanics, although I find it rather difficult to understand how quantum theory is in any sense mechanics. It's much more like organics, which is to me a different concept. However, that may be. It has percolated, you see, into the roots of our common sense that the world is a construct, is an artifact. And therefore, as one understands the operations of a machine by analysis of its parts, by separating them into their original bits, we have bitted the cosmos and see everything going on in terms of bits of information, and have found that this is extremely fruitful in enabling us to control what's happening. After all, the whole of Western technology is the result of bitting. Let's suppose, you want to eat a chicken. You can't eat the whole chicken at once. You have to bite it. You have to reduce it to bits. But you don't get a cut-up fryer out of an egg. It doesn't come that way. So what has happened is this, that we don't know the origins of all this. It's maybe go back thousands of years. The way we develop the art of thinking, which is essentially calculus, is this. The universe as it comes in nature, the physical universe, is something like a Rorschach plot. It's all wiggles. We who live in cities are not really used to this because we build everything in straight lines and rectangles and so on. Wherever you see this sort of thing, you know human beings have been around because they're always trying to straighten things out. But nature itself... is clouds, is water, is the outlines of continents, is mountains, is biological existences, and all of them wiggle. And wiggly things are to human consciousness a little bit of a nuisance, because we want to figure it out. And it is as if, therefore, some ancient fisherman one day held up his net and looked at the world through the net. He said, "My, just think of that. There I can see the view. It's one, and that peak of that mountain is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes across. And the base is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes down. Now I've got its number. See? And so the lines of latitude and longitude, the lines of celestial and terrestrial latitude and longitude, the whole idea of a matrix, of a looking at things through graph, paper painted on, printed on cellophane, is the basic idea of measurement. This is the way we calculate. We break down the wiggliness of the world into comprehensible, countable, geometrical units, and thereby figure it and construct it in those terms. And this is so successful up to a point that we can, of course, come to imagine that this is the way the physical world really is. Discrete, discontinuous, full of points. In fact, a mechanism. But I want to just put into your mind the notion that this may be the prejudice of a certain personality type. You see, in the history of philosophy and poetry and art, we always find the interchange of two personality types, which I call prickles and goo. The prickly people are advocates of intellectual porcupinism. They want a rigor. They want precise statistics. And they have a certain clipped attitude in their voices. And you know this very well in academic circles, where there are people who are always edgy like that. And they accuse other people of being disgustingly vague and miasmic and mystical. But the vague, miasmic, and mystical people accuse the prickly people of being mere skeletons with no flesh on their bones. And they say to you, you just rattle. You're not really a human being. You know the words, but you don't know the music. And so therefore, if you belong to the prickly type, you hope that the ultimate constituent of matter is particles. If you belong to the gooey type, you hope it's waves. If you are prickly, you're a classicist. And if you're gooey, you're a romanticist. And going back into medieval philosophy, if you're prickly, you're a nominalist. If you're gooey, you're a realist. And so it goes. But we know very well that this natural universe is neither prickles nor goo exclusively. It's gooey prickles and prickly goo. And you see, it all depends on your level of magnification. If you've got your magnification on something so that the focus is clear, you've got a prickly point of view. You've got structure, shape, clearly outlined, sharply defined. Be a little out of focus, it's going to go bleh, and you've got goo. But we're always playing with the two, because it's like the question is the world basically stuff, like matter, or is it basically structure? Well, we find out, of course, today that in science we don't consider the idea of matter, of there being some sort of stuff, because supposing you wanted to describe stuff, in what terms would you describe it? You always have to describe it in terms of structure, something countable, something that can be designated as a pattern. So we never get to any basic stuff. It seems to me that this way of thinking is based on a form of consciousness which we could best call scanning. The capacity to divide experiences into bits. is somehow related to a physical facility which corresponds to sweeping a radar beam or a spotlight over the environment. The advantage of the spotlight is it gives you intensely concentrated light on restricted areas. A floodlight, by comparison, has less intensity. But if you examine, say this room were in total darkness, and you use the spotlight, very thin beam, and you scanned the room with it, you would have to retain in memory all the areas over which it passed, and then by an additive process, you would make out the contours of the room. And it seems to me that this is something in which civilized man, both in the East and in the West, has specialized. In a method of paying attention to things which we call noticing. And therefore it's highly selective. It picks out, it's punctive, it picks out features in the environment which we say are noteworthy and which we therefore register with a notation. Be it the notation of words, the notation of numbers, or such a notation, say, as algebra or music. So that we notice those things, only those things, for which we have notation. When a child, very often a child will point at something and say to its parents, "What's that?" And they're not clear what the child is pointing to. The child has pointed to something which we consider is not a thing. The child has pointed to an area, say, of funny pattern on a dirty wall, and has noticed a figure on it. But the child doesn't have a word for it and says, "What's that?" And the adult says, "Oh, that's just a mess." Because that doesn't count for us as a thing. You come through this to the understanding, what do you mean by a thing? It's very fascinating to ask children, what do you mean by a thing? And they don't know, because it's one of the unexamined suppositions of the culture. What do you mean by an event? Well, everybody knows what an event is, but nobody can say. Because a thing is a think. It's a unit of thought, like an inch is a unit of measurement. And so we thing the world, that is to say, in order to measure a curve, you have to reduce it to point instants. And apply the calculus, so in exactly the same way, in order to discuss or talk about the universe, you have to reduce it to things. But each thing or think is, as it were, one grasp of that spotlight. Going chur, 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 like this, you see. So we reduce the infinite wiggliness of the world to grasps or bits. We're getting back to biting, you see, the idea of the teeth. To grasps of thought. And so we thereby describe the world in terms of things, just as that fisherman could describe his view by the number of net hole over through which the view was showing. And this has been the immensely and apparently successful enterprise of all technological culture, superbly emphasized by ourselves. Selves. The Western model of the universe is political and engineering or architectural. And therefore, as one understands the operations of a machine, by analysis of its parts, by separating them into their original bits, we have bitted the cosmos and see everything going on in terms of bits of information, and have found that this is extremely fruitful in enabling us to control what's happening. After all, the whole of Western technology is the result of bitting. And so we thing the world, that is to say, in order to measure a curve, you have to reduce it to point instants. And apply the calculus, so in exactly the same way, in order to discuss or talk about the universe, you have to reduce it to things. But each thing or think is, as it were, one grasp of that spotlight. Going chirp, 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 like this, you see. So we reduce the infinite wiggliness of the world to grasps or bits. We're getting back to biting, you see, the idea of the teeth. To grasps of thought. And so we thereby describe the world in terms of things, just as that fisherman could describe his view by the number of net hole through which the view was showing. But the problem that arises is this. First of all, very obviously, everybody knows, I hardly need to mention it. Go to the science of medicine. You get a specialist who really understands the function of the gallbladder. And he's studied gallbladders ad infinitum, and he really thinks he knows all about it. But whenever he looks at a human being, he sees him in terms of gallbladder. And so if he operates on the gallbladder, he may do so very knowledgeably about that particular area of the organism. But he does not foresee the unpredictable effects of this operation in other connected areas, because the human being's gallbladder is not a thing in the same way as a spark plug in a car can be extracted and a new one replaced. Because the system isn't the same. There is a fundamental difference between a mechanism and an organism, which can be described operationally. Mechanism is assembled. You add this bit to that bit to that bit to that bit. But an organism grows. That is to say, when you watch in a microscope a solution in which crystals are forming, you don't see this thing of little bits coming in, joining each other and finally making up a shape. You see a solution where, well, it's like when you watch a photographic plate developing. Where suddenly the whole area which you're watching seems to organize itself, to develop, to make sense. Moving from the relatively simple and gooey to the relatively structured and prickly. But not by addition. So then, if we are trying to control and understand the world through conscious attention, which is a scanning system, which takes in everything bit, what we're going to run into is that if that's the only method we rely on, everything is going to appear increasingly too complicated to manage. So that you get, for example,